continue on in 2024.
That's the way it is with these brown and gold upstarts.
The party is just getting started here.
The undeniable skill with the flamboyant celebrations to match.
The dream is very, very much alive.
Riding a wave of momentum across the South Australian border. Up against Kenny and the Power, who had the belief pummeled out of them in the most brutal fashion.
It's getting very ugly for Port. They're just too easy to play against Port Adelaide.
September shocker in every sense.
It's one of the poor finals we've seen my team in a while.
They look a shell tonight of what they've been all year.
They're down, but not out.
They've still got a chance in this season. Their season is not dead.
Now, if Port Adelaide is to walk the finals tightrope, they'll need the best version of their midfield dynamos. Zach Butters.
Butters, there he is.
Connor Rosie.
It's Connor Rosie. Mesmerise the ball.
And the Hornet. Jason Horn-Francis.
Or it could be Horn-Francis.
No more second chances.
Let's play.
And when the dust settles tonight, only one team will be left believing this September.
Win or go home for both of these sides.
Finals footy, the very best time of year.
This is legit.
Right here on the one and only Fox Footy.
Oh, we are roughly 5 minutes away from this do-or-die semi-final between Port Adelaide and Hawthorn, and there's a bit of a hush around the ground because it is time for the Welcome to Country and National Anthem.
Toyota, welcome you to the 2024 Toyota AFL Final Series tonight, the second semi-final between Port Adelaide and Hawthorn. The AFL acknowledges the Kaurna people, the traditional owners of the land we gather on today, and pay our respects to elders past and present. We acknowledge we play our great game on this land and respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and contribution to the game of Australian rules football. To conduct an official welcome, can you please welcome senior Kaurna man and former Port Adelaide player Mickey O'Brien.
Great China. Twila Manwani Twila Wakada Patney Naigana Biako Makalakala Marwachanga Ganamina Ganamina Wangadi Marina Budni Gani Yatana Hiridi Yata Tanda Wama Na Yala Yala Goltapina Yagaboti Irabina Ka Ganya Yorna Tinda Pandu Nakpandi. It is welcome to you, to the people, the fans that have come here today on Kaurna Country and here at Adelaide Oval, the Kangaroo Plains. We bring you great blessings. We also wish the umpires well. We wish both teams, both being Port Adelaide and the Hawks, a wonderful game tonight as they fight on this field tonight. May the best team win. In our game of possum skin football, the honour was to bury the ball after the game. Tonight, the winners will have the opportunity to play next week in a prelim. So we say to you, Nakara Nei Chayu, Paraninga, Tangi Wilda, it is wonderful that you can come and welcome to Kaurna Country, and may you feel the spirit of our people as they here at this stadium tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Mickey. Now, if you are able, would you please now rise, remove your hats, join with the coaches, players and umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Chloe Castledine.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is turned by sea, our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. It's life full of strength and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Well, the wait is over. The formalities are done, and listen to this crowd. It is a sellout at Adelaide Oval. Give me your final thoughts, gents. Who's a big night for, Brownie?
Big night for the halfbacks from Port Adelaide. No question about it. No Farrell, no Burton, and no Dan Houston, the All-Australian. Darcy Byrne-Jones won an All-Australian as a halfbacker. He played there last week. Him along with Logan Evans and big Lockie Jones. It's going to be key.
Bucks?
Well, I'm going with Jarman Impey on the flip side, and he could have been a halfback for Port Adelaide, but the job he's done for Hawthorn, I just think his composure and his leadership back there, when to go fast, when to hold it up a little bit and take that breath to change the angle. I think he's been enormous, and I think he's going to have a huge night tonight.
Geordie?
Yeah, for me, it's Todd Marshall. I think a lot gets spoken about the undersized and maybe undermanned Hawthorn defence. The Dogs didn't take full advantage of that last week, but he's had the last 4 games he's been goalless, so he needs to be a big presence in that forward line with Charlie Dixon out. But on top of that, he needs to start hitting the scoreboard and really put this Port Adelaide in a dominant position.
Charlie Dixon, the late out due to illness for those just tuning in. Well, I think it's going to be a big night for John Newcombe. I've got a safe bet here. I'm backing him to continue his sensational form. He's had 30-plus disposals the past 3 games, averaging 13 score involvements in that time. Well, this, boys, is arguably the best pre-game tradition in the AFL. We are about to hand it over to the Port Adelaide fans, but just quickly, that's a huge matchup for John Newcombe.
Yeah, he's been in huge form, and I think the basics, the clean handling of the ball at ground level, and it's going to be, the ball is going to spend a fair bit of time, a little bit slippery. It's going to spend a lot of time on the ground, and John Newcombe, amongst his teammates, has been as good at that ground level basics as any.
Will Drew go to him, you think?
I think Drew is his direct matchup. One thing Port Adelaide do is they go hard man on man. Do you think how will Hawks handle that with their ball use from the back half when Port Adelaide will try and take away their uncontested marks?
Oh, I think they really, like last week, need to bide their time. At some point, it will open up, and this is what you've been asking for, Joe.
Here we go.
Here it is.
Shut up. Hand it over to the Port fans.
On the bench, and he's out there. That says something about the physicality of what may be encountered here early. A spot in the prelim offer. We're underway here at the Adelaide Oval. It's a packed house, one of the biggest crowds ever here. In they go. Warple, the first kick out of the middle of the ground, goes forward. They're so fleet for it. Oh, Watson was taken high by Zerk Factor. And the Wizard will get a look from just outside 50.
Good intent, though, by Zerk Thatcher. Yeah, it's gone high, but it was good aggression, good intent. They've got to bring that, and they've got to bring it early.
The 50-metre runners were coming past.
This is on his range, BT.
Free Richo right on there. Carl Amon was there hoping to get a little gimme. Gone back a long way, so looking for a bit of momentum in the run-up here to launch this to the old scoreboard hill end of the ground. Watson comes in, he's got the distance, hasn't got the accuracy though.
Massive game last week for Nick Watson. First final, and it didn't look like it. Bergman to bring the footy back in, like bites off a lot through the middle. Horn Francis bounces away from him. Sicily came forward. Boat overran it. Mead just lost his footing. Moore came in. Morrison. A wide one here for Ginnivan. Then broken up by Sin.
At that kick in from Port Adelaide, Todd Marshall was about 40 metres out.
in the forward 50 for Port Adelaide. So really tried to stretch the ground out. That was a nice looking set play out of that kick in.
Beautiful night for the players involved in this game. Slight breeze and a perfect day here in Adelaide, Boak. Wines flicked it forward. Mead. Out is Rioli. Looked to Rosé and then went past him. And would have been upended. Downfield. Burn Jones. Inside 50, Georgiades. It gets beyond him. Sarong was there.
I reckon he had Radagalia 15 out, straight in front, went to the pocket to Georgiades. At least you can set up now behind this, get some stoppage.
Rioli, I think, sat Warple on his backside there as well after Warple dealt with him. He got up and gave him one back as well in a legal form.
Expect Rioli to get on the move here.
See what happens. Meek knocking it down towards the boundary line. Not a lot of room to operate here for Mead.
You can see Rioli going into that little hit zone. Smart by Mead just to try and clear the area towards the boundary line. This is where they've got to be physical.
Scott Hardwick too, the glove. He's had all the big rolls, Hardwick on the smalls this year and done it well.
That's where we need blocks. Ollie Wines and that will go to put blocks on.
What have they got, Port? They got some improvement on last time they played at this ground. We're about to find out. Morrison, D'Ambrosio, Warple round the brick wall. They look intent, Port. They're tapping from everywhere. They're desperate. And they are appealing for the 50 here through Ollie Wines.
It's in safe hands with Rioli here.
There it is. He and Warple came to a small clash a minute or so back. And the last laugh there.
Sorry, BT. Rosie laid the final tackle.
So Rosie around the corner to get this underway. He does. Igniting the Port Adelaide crowd. Come in incredible numbers here today. And a great start for Port Adelaide.
That's important, BT, what you just said, igniting the crowd. Get them involved early. Feed off that energy on your home ground. Good start, Port.
Love the start from Rioli. Really had a really tense start. Warple thought he was out in the open. First of all, Rioli dives in. Rosie follows it up. That's the pressure that Port Adelaide lacked last week. Geelong got away from it. They started off great mindset, great intensity. Perfect start for the Port Adelaide Football Club.
Also a good start for the skipper, who was quiet last week, so lots of early boxes ticked here for Port. Sweep down, Rosie involved again. Radagalia. Handle. Got the handball away, you heard. Morrison spins out. Hardwick. Alia in front, Deer at the back. Sin with some room. Gets past Chol. Drilling ball for Boak. Asaga's going to bend down and get this. Thumps a long one. Georgiades. One out. Scrimshaw. Unable to hang on. Burn Jones. Taking in a very good tackle.
Oh, they're clanging in, JB. They are clanging in here at the moment, Port Adelaide.
And importantly for Port, they've had a little bit of overlap and transition off half-back early in this game.
Meek over the top sweep. Radagalia got boot to ball. They are desperate to turn things around here, Port Adelaide. Their opening 5 minutes, they would be inspired by. Can they keep it up?
Sure. Love to bite that kick off, no fear. Kalshadir. Oh, that might have been a mark. Liam not paid.
Well, that's Hawthorn. They always want that handball received off half-back to get it moving. Alia's always looking for the intercept. Well done, Deer, to get it to ground.
4-1 clearances to Port Adelaide. Good decision in the end from the umpire. No contact at all.
Butters into the fray.
As Hodgie said, just got that little chest guard on.
Interesting he started on the bench, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not normal.
Here comes Mead. Here is Butters. To half forward. Marshall controls it to ground. Sicily with him. Able to keep it in. Physical game turns into more physical. Hardwick loves it.
Only one mark in this game so far.
Oh, he's upended Rioli here, Hardwick.
An aim on against his old club. Ruffling a few feathers.
Little kick out of the back here, the knock down to Wines, couldn't control it. Meek in there to Newcomb. They're under pressure every time they get it here, Hawks. It's Hawks-like pressure in reverse at the moment. Evans with the spoil. And the crowd are engaged here. The players are engaged. Rioli has been in absolutely everything. He and Hardwick coming together then. It's a bright, enthusiastic opening here. Newcomb. The Hawks are being tested here right now.
The two bulls are on each other. Newcomb and Butters both have been in excellent form.
Umpire Rosebery with Curtis DeBoy, Andrew Stevens and Brendan Hosking. We're down to 9 umpires left in the competition. Rioli marks again. He's able to play on inside 50. Little low ball. Georgiades won't get there. Great stuff there from Impey.
This is dangerous signs for Hawthorn. The fact that Rioli, when he's come in with this mindset, he's energetic, he's upbeat, he's up for the fight tonight.
Also against his old clubs, a few former Port Adelaide players wearing the Hawthorn jumper, and the crowd are letting them know. Meek in front, belted away from him. Chong. To Warple. Right in front of Newcomb. Logan Evans with him. Great handball. Ginnivan. Off now to Morrison. The set-up kick for Chol. It's going to be a tight angle.
Terrific from Chol. At half back, he was able to, he was tackled, he was able to get that little releasing kick at half back, and then he just pushed forward. He burnt Sir Thatcher back towards goal. Good run from Chol.
Is this a dyed eyebrow I see?
I think it is.
That's unbelievable.
Surely it's not a bit of paste. It's to go with the hair, JB.
Is it dyed or is it a little bandage? A little bandage. That would have been too much Hollywood, even for Matt.
I reckon he should go with it.
He's always a beautiful kick though, Chol. This is across the face. Hasn't got the trip. And Deere had a play on the ball through from behind.
Richard, what does he need to do tonight, Mabsy?
Just get it to ground. That I would say that would be his intent. Don't be outmarked tonight. He was outmarked last week, Marbior. Still did some things, but never get outmarked. At least get it to ground because you got the mosquitoes around you.
But Evans kicks it back into play. Willie Wines trying to kick it through the legs of D'Ambrosio. Burgoyne. Fleet-footed as always. Great composure here to Narkle.
Haven't seen any tempo yet in this game. It's frantic.
Narkle to Rioli. Here he comes. He and Hardwick collide yet again. Gee, it's on between those two. And you just know it's not over.
He gets all the matchups, doesn't he, Hardwick? Stengel, he's had Shea Bolton, Jamie Elliott, Toby Green, Cody Waitman, gets all the dangerous smalls and does the job most times.
Nash has come on the field, he's gone straight to Butters.
Meek belts it down the line. Yeah, kicked it in just for a moment. So it's already a different looking Port Adelaide. So flat at the start of last week, and look at Kenny.
Willem Drew looks like he might go to Newcomb now.
Rosie clean. It's helped on, and they get a stoppage further afield, Port Adelaide.
But this is what Port Adelaide have needed. They've got their three bulls all in the middle. The quick bowlers, Rosie, Butters, Horn Francis, all up around the ball. They're not, Hawthorn midfield aren't sure which one are going, because they're all more than capable of taking on the stoppage, running through it and getting clearances.
Yet to see Butters tested here. With those ribs, a bit of padding on there, started on the bench. Normally it's Horn Francis that starts on the bench. A little concerned about the bing and bang early in the game. He's out there now. There's Jones. I'll tell you what, I'm looking up at the hill at the moment. I'm seeing the patrons absolutely jam-packed in near that old scoreboard. That is all standing area, and they are shoulder to shoulder. Amazing. Sweet.
Holding. Port Adelaide.
Ginnivan was on the run.
Horn Francis free kick. Let it go, Jack. It's his free kick. Up here, Jack. Up here, Jack. Jack.
Goes to Horn Francis. The other thing about that crowd, BT, you can see at top of the shot there, there's lots of yellow and brown.
Yeah, there is.
They travel now, these Hawks fans.
I reckon the highway has been chock-a-block for 2 days.
Evans, good ball here for Horn Francis, takes on Ginnivan. Inside 50, Port Adelaide. Well done. Scrimshaw in front.
He's become such a good interceptor, Scrimshaw. Wins it back so often for his team in dangerous spots like that, 15 metres out.
Kicks it superbly to Meek.
Hang on, you're up. Hang on.
Called to go, so Chol will come at him. Sin gets a hand in. Little things just dropping for Port. Horn Francis.
That's the other thing Chol's got to do. When you're playing on a Lear, you've got to hit up, because the Lear wants to sift back and intercept.
When Hawthorn are getting the ball on half-back, you mentioned it earlier, Richo, there's no handballs. It's a kick now. Normally that's a handball and run.
You're right, BT, that last one from Reed should have given it off to D'Ambrosio. They've been doing that all year, got to the position they are at the moment.
They look a little nervy. Is that because of the pressure that's been created?
I think it's the intensity that Port has brought, and every now and then it's not too bad if you do just settle down. They had the crowd behind them. Just maybe slow things down to get the tempo back your way.
Terrific. Rosie. Couple of Hawthorn players here. Neither of them could get hold of it, or Meek or Cecily. Radicalia tidies it up, keeps it alive. In there, bad bounce for Weddle. Keeps Georgiani's in the hub. Here comes the sparkler. Narkle. Got a long ball. Rioli has to sit under it. McGuinness.
Have a mark in the end. To Moore.
Haven't been able to get any real pace on it yet, Hawthorn. Port have shut it down again.
Let's go.
Gunston. Logan Evans. Heavily done to Burgoyne. Boak. Floats it forward. It wasn't a great ball.
Port Adelaide have been able to link up and use their hands. Last week we had to go at Chol about not being aggressive enough. Richo, you've already seen him sprint back to the forward line. That tackle in shows his intent is spot on tonight.
Turnover. Although they get it back with room to move. McDonald streaming through the middle. Newcomb. McGuinness. Can't quite get around. Back to McDonald. Weddle. Touch ball. Moore. Collin. Got it back to Weddle. He had Nash, ignored him, and kicks it out to full.
Oh, they're doing some unlike Hawthorn things at the moment.
Spot on, BT. The pressure from Port Adelaide has made him not give that simple, easy give in pressure situations like finals. You just got to give it to a teammate who's in a better position. 3 times then, Hawthorn opted to take it on himself and have the kick and turn it over.
Bergman. Pack of players. Radicalia strong in the Dukes.
Sir Francis Evans is playing a negating role on Sicily.
Down the back door. It was Butters. Bouncing his way through centre half back. Got caught. Wasn't his best kick. In fact, it was horrible in the end. Struggling mark here. Scrimshaw. Big job for him today. Hawks looking to go forward again. Scrimshaw with a kick inside 50. It's very, very deep. Bit of pushing and shoving there. This could go Gunston's way.
To Jace Burgoyne. Doesn't quite get into the hands of Evans, so they welcome a bit of pressure here. Port turnover. And big trouble, Gunston. Alia's got to park himself under this.
Tackle.
Okay.
They're finding a way out of these tight spots at the moment. Can't seem to find that clear target when they go inside their own 50 though, Port, can they?
And that's the only thing. They've had 8 inside 50s to 5. Just haven't been able to get the scoreboard on.
Horrible kick off the side of the boot by Burger in there.
BT, this is the simple stuff. You've got Weddles under pressure, feed it back to Nash. He's got to the right position. They're the simple things that Hawthorn have been doing, which the last 5 minutes have probably struggled to do the simple things.
Yeah, they've been the best givers in the league, Richo.
Yeah, and there's another role tonight. Evans is just purely there to negate Sicily.
Meek, little hand down D'Ambrosio on his favourite side here. Able to swing it back into a 2-on-1. Burgoyne's got to fly, and he does. So defensively getting it done. Not looking all that menacing in attack at the moment, though, Paul.
Now, so Sicily hasn't touched it yet. They've only retained possession once, going inside 50 Port. So neither team's been able to connect up yet, and that's just the pressure. Not enough time to find loose targets.
In possession, Meek, wrapped up by Wines. Burgoyne's handball just broken up by D'Ambrosio. Narkle. Back to Ollie Wines. Port managed to get the ball going forward. Here is Sicily. Evans with him. And a free kick given away.
Born Francis got Meek.
Stand.
Got to think so far in this game. Ken Hinkley thinks I'm getting what I want. I'm getting real intensity and effort. Jones belts a long one in the Horn Francis direction. Weddle with him. Almost Horn Francis out the back. Ball up.
There is Kenny Hinkley, equaling that games record held by the great Mark Williams here at the Port Adelaide Football Club for games coached. Marshall trying to keep it alive, hasn't played for, 8 or 9 weeks, Marshall back in the side tonight. Dixon failed a fitness test prior to the game. Little handball here from Nash. Out we come again for the Hawks. This time Gunston's the target. Jones makes it hard. The backup from Allaire was positive. The handball in there. Finds an opportunity with Sin. He gets it to Drew. Drew can sink it inside 50. Here they come again. Georgiades.
That was an outstanding kick by Willem Drew. Georgiades was heading back towards goal. And there was a pocket of space there, and it was just put into the perfect position, turned Georgiades back around. Georgiades is pointing.
Talking about that fella with his sore ribs, goes back with a flight. As courageous as you'll get.
Doesn't have a lot of curve in his kick, Georgiades. He will need to slide it inside left goalpost here. He's a very direct, straight kick. Georgiades, what a view we've got. It's a difficult shot. 45-metre kick. And that'll miss left.
Jack Scrimshaw. Hardwick on for him. He's got McGuinness further afield. They change the angle back to Hardwick. Ward. Through the middle come the Hawks. Moore will give it back to Ward. And now back to Moore. He's going to be challenged and sat down. Butters.
Stand.
Absolutely brilliant. Off to Narkle. Long ball. Marshall comes at it. Big aggressive fist.
Have a look at this intent. Zach Butters, it's a perfect tackle there. Pin both arms.
Nothing to worry about with the tackle, Richo.
Well, the umpire's right there and played holding the ball.
No, that's fine, BT.
Okay, there it is.
Tackle.
It's a finals tackle. Boundary throw in. Weddle doing the ruck work here. Warple almost first to right. Nash is banged into by Butters. He was like a freight train coming, the little man. Wines, centering ball. Marshall, danger here. If the Hawks can run it and go. Big opportunity. Impey, he had no one to give it to. Good
was out, BT, forward of centre. So they've been able to regroup and get some set up now behind the ball.
This is the part of their game that's been really good. Port Adelaide being able to squeeze Hawthorn over to the side. There's been no overlap run, no link-up handball. Butter's going off for a break. Hasn't he had a big 5 minutes?
Got Mark Jones. Really nice hands. They just look a totally different outfit. Horn Francis got 3 to beat here. The cavalry arrived for him. Rioli so dangerous. Rosie back to Willie. And does that magnificently well.
I'll tell you what, if you're affording the competition and you could pick someone to find you, it'd be Willie Rioli. He sums things up on the move, he's scanning. You just knew he was going to make the right decision. Here's another big tackle from Zach Butters. His intent, I think his ribs are okay. He is like a cannonball at the moment.
Shawnee Burgoyne said if he can kick 1 or 2, but he'll give 4 away.
Yeah, he's just, look at this from Burgoyne, from Rioli. Doesn't sort of rush himself, picks out Marshall perfectly.
Huge moment here for Todd Marshall. Out of the side for so long. Brought back in for a semi. Loves it. He loves it. They have settled the better, no doubt about it. Whether it can be maintained or not remains to be seen, but it looks like a team that's been stung into action.
You're right, Richo. He's got 4 Hawthorn people in front of him. He's got Georgiades running towards the goal square and had the composure just to pull back and find Marshall all by himself. That's what you need in these big situations. A rush of blood, having the composure just to slow it up, centre it into the middle to a better position.
And he's got probably a lot going through his head there. Do I have a shot? I've got pressure on the face. Do I pass it? He's very composed.
Perfect bounce by umpire Brendan Hosking there. Here's the horny one trying to bash it through the middle.
Thanks, Jason. Thank you. All the meter.
Roll into the ruck, sweep there with him. Little fierce for Horn Francis to handle there. Newcomb. Warple wanting the football, wider handball, Carl Amon. Normally a good kick, that's a bit of a floater. Sin. Just at half-back, patrolling things at the moment, this young man.
Had some nice moments early. Sin gets it to Zerk Thatcher. And the Sava, free kick, and wants to go fast. Willie Rioli. Marshall. Paid. Hand off to Horn Francis. The ball may have been touched anyway, but it's missing.
Guy Newcomb saying there are 8 pair of hands now. I just saw Horn Francis pulled by the neck or by the jumper, Impey, and it was an unnecessary free, a bit silly actually. Allows them to get over the wall. Have a look at this now, bang. Didn't need to do it. And here, as a result, are the Hawks streaming through the middle of the ground. Impey with a high forward-bound ball. Gunston the flyer. Horn Francis gets back to make amends. Little risky kick. Burgoyne's got to sit under it and wait. And he did very bravely.
You know what he did well there? He turned his back and protected the space. I thought he was in all sorts of trouble. Did well, Burgoyne.
Loopy handball here for Drew. D'Ambrosio gone. This tackling heat we saw none of last week. Logan Evans. Mead bashing through.
On the ball.
Into the side for Frost. Saw him pre-game in the moon boot and the crutches.
So far in this game, Port Adelaide and Mark playing on more than Hawthorn. Hawthorn no one to be
from Weddle, and he's off. Stretches away from Marshall. What an athlete this man is. Takes him on. Gone. Tried to bite off way too much.
I love his play on, but he had time there to deliver inside 50 and just, as you said, James, just tried way too much.
Just a simple thing, Richard. Top of the goal square, let your forwards battle it out.
The force to create, didn't he? Keep the arms free here, Rosie. Little handball there from Evans. Francis, Hawthorn get hold of it through Newcomb. Knock on by Ginnivan. Through heavy traffic was Impey. He was tackled to the ground and eventually Jones got him. So all of their tackles working at the moment here, Port. They're getting there in the nick of time at the moment. Jones to Jace Burgoyne. Had a good opening quarter, this young man. Horn Francis slows it down. Hugs the boundary line. Big fly, Georgiani's over the back. D'Ambrosio bangs it on the boot. Burgoyne again. Hasn't he been good?
Narkle open, great smother Watson. Jones, they go back in again. And a free kick Hawthorn's way. 8 seconds of his first turn.
I reckon Jones had a handball into the corridor to Horn Francis then.
5 holding the ball decisions for Port Adelaide, Hodgie, already in this first quarter. Just to underscore the intent they're bringing to this game. It's been very impressive. And as the siren sounds, Port Adelaide fans appreciate what their side have brought to the table. They lead by 13 points.
Mexican Independence Day.
All right. What a first quarter, folks. Welcome in, everyone. Nervous Bianca. You're going for the Hawks, aren't you, from memory? I think so. Ryan Howes, how you going? Everybody else has joined to come and listen to this game tonight. Leah, Hannah, Ryan, Tine, Bem. Shout out. What a game. I tell you what, folks, as I predicted last week, what did we say? We said if Port Adelaide have to be any chance at all, they've got to drop Dixon up forward. It was a waste of space up there, and exactly that's what they did. They said it was unfitness, but I tell you what, they dropped him because they saw exactly what we saw last week, and that was no good. That being said, this is a different Port Adelaide side that's coming out to play tonight. From the very bounce, they were on. Hawthorn came out looking like they were going to have their run. They thought Port Adelaide was going to be like they were last week, slow and sluggish and not worry too much about it. But it's a whole different story, folks. I tell you what, Hawthorn got their work cut out tonight. This has really put a spanner in the works. This is something I didn't see coming. Port Adelaide, they're bringing the heat. They're bringing the pressure. This is a different side. This is a team that, I tell you what, got words from the coach during the week. They went through it all and they said, boys, I tell you what, show some grit and grime. Get out there and play. This is it. There's no second chances anymore. You had your chance. They've come out, folks. Port Adelaide have come out full of running. They've been in control of this game so far. They've had their run. They've put incredible pressure on. I tell you what, they've had their chances. All that being said, Hawks are putting a good bit of pressure on as well. They're defending well because I think as much as Port Adelaide will be happy the way they've started, the pressure, the run they've got, the carry, the game going their way. I think Hawthorn will be just as happy, even though they've only scored 2 behinds, that the margin is only 13 points. It's been controlled for Port Adelaide this first quarter. And Hawthorn, well, their defences have been good. Let me just say that. You remember me saying that? Absolutely, Hannah, absolutely. And, they were saying, oh, it's fitness. We heard, pre-chat prior to the game actually starting. Fitness. I tell you, it's not fitness. He's just no good. I don't think Dixon will be there next year, and they look a lot better side without him. A lot more pace, a lot more all that. Let's just have a look at the stats for the opening quarter. Jai Newcomb and Jesse Burgoyne lead the way. from Hawthorn and Adelaide, Port Adelaide, both on 8 disposals. Of course, John Newcomb, he doesn't want to kick, he just loves to handball. 8 disposals, 8 handballs, 1 mark, 2 tackles. Jesse Burgoyne, 8 disposals, 6 kicks, 2 handballs, 4 marks. I tell you what, this, folks, this is a cracking game. Don't go anywhere. We're in for some action. I tell you what, I'm super excited about the next 3 quarters of this game. Radaglia, they're going pretty good there for Port Adelaide. 7 touches already, 5 kicks. Who else have we got there? Josh Ward was 6 for the Hawks. Scrimshaw was 6. I tell you what, Morrison, Impey with 5. Let me just keep going down a little bit, and then I'm going to take us back down to the... you know what? I'll show these while I head back to the commentators, and they'll give you their thoughts as we head in to the second quarter.
Thanks to their skipper, Connor Rosie, delivering. Port leading Hawthorn by 13 points in the first semi-final of 2024. Hawks, lowest scoring first quarter since round 2. Jonathan Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis. That was some sort of response from Port Adelaide.
Yeah, it was terrific, wasn't it? Based on pressure. They won clearance as well, which they got dominated at last week. So they were obviously able to establish pressure, and then their defenders were able to play out in front in assertive positions. Bucks.
Yeah, it's been a really solid game plan to put pressure back on Hawthorn's back half. The tackle pressure was huge. It was up around high 190s, which we'd see as almost elite. It settled at 184 for the quarter, but Port Adelaide's intent was clear early, and they just didn't give Hawthorn time and space in general play. And they were also able to take their uncontested marks away. They kept them to 15 uncontested marks for the quarter when they're average over 80 a game. So, I mean, we know that's been a stock and trade of Hawthorn's ball use. They've been really clean to get from the inside to the outside, but Port have taken that away, and they've really imposed themselves in the first quarter.
I think this for me is where their game was built off the back of this pressure, this relentless pressure. I mean, I don't know, it would have been 5 or 6 holding the ball decisions going in the favour of Port Adelaide. I thought their backs really stood up. Burgoyne being the one under pressure, those high balls coming in that he really stood under and was brave in that instance. But Port Adelaide playing the way that Hawthorn want to play. Really good in the contest, taking the ball to the open side and making Hawthorn defend.
Well, Butters laid 3 of those tackles, and a couple of them suplex tackles, so it looks like his ribs are all right. Marshall laid 2, including that chase down tackle of Weddle late in the quarter, and Wines too. So Port Adelaide have got a clear plan to take away time and space from Hawthorn. It is the way to break down a game plan that's been so successful. Their first goalless quarter since round 10, which was the last quarter against Port Adelaide. So they know what this feels like, and they've got time to bounce back.
Absolutely. A lot of holding the ball free kicks for Port Adelaide. So they've really harnessed the energy of the crowd and kept the crowd in it with those holding the ball decisions, and that's energised the players. I love the response of Rosie and Butters, the 2 young leaders. Rosie stood up, first goal with a great tackle, and Butters has been throwing himself in there. Not huge possessions, a lot of tackles though, and a lot of physicality in his game.
They're looking like the 1-2 punch they are. What about the Francis Evans role on James Sicily, George?
Yeah, well, he's kept him out of the game. He's had no influence whatsoever. Scrimshaw's probably the one that's had the influence back there, but that'd be a big tick for Kenny Hinkley.
Port fans are happy so far. Here we go, the second quarter, live from sold out Adelaide Oval.
Newcomb with a little hand in on Francis, the handball received. We'll call it that. Got it to Butters. Now Rosie's, so all the big boys getting involved. To Bowden.
On Francis, that is a terrific run from him.
Inside 50, Georgiades came at that beautifully.
Great hands, and a little lead from Todd Marshall there actually opened up a bit of space. It was a lead that the defender had to honour. Look at Marshall there. You got to honour that. It opens up the hole behind.
Mitch Georgiades already missed one. This is much more gettable. Looks great. Is great. speak. It's the response their fans would have been hoping for.
Should have constant movement as a key forward, and have a look at Todd Marshall here. This is what created the space for Georgiades. He leads hard and fast to the ball. It pulls Sarong out, opens up space behind for Georgiades, and it was a terrific kick from Horn Francis, but that doesn't happen without Marshall's movement.
Hickley enjoying this sweep out of the middle. Found Rosie. Nifty little ball here. Mead, the marker. Here they go again. Georgiades wants it low this time. A lot of players in front of him. Rioli gets there. And the Hawthorn defence all at sea at the moment.
That's just movement from the Port Adelaide forwards. They all ran back towards goal. That made the Hawks defenders lose track of the ball. Hardwick's in a perfect position there, and Rioli, the kick was pulled. Rioli the first one to react.
Goalless Hawks at the moment. 3 minutes into the second quarter. For their fourth, Willie Rioli, who was one of their best in the first quarter. 45 out, that's to the right. Of that incredible hill end.
You get too close there, Brian, I reckon. Yep, really. You normally push it to the right if you get too close.
Sicily loves biting plenty off in these situations, but there's not a lot on. Just over the top of it, Deer. Rosie. Boak has it held in. Deer, a difficult one to handle. Really a big smile on his face. He plays his footy with a massive smile on his face. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Butters has been brilliant to sin. Nice and clean. Here comes Marshall. Scrimshaw just edged him under it. Sits it up for Boak to smash it away. Hardwick. Just got to go high and long. And Zerk Thatcher, after coughing a couple up last week, just takes that nicely.
The pressure from the Port forwards there. They've kept the Hawks to 51% by foot. It's the lowest that they've gone so far this year. The intensity from Port Adelaide's been exceptional.
Short ball to Butters. Butters tripping inside 50. Here they come again. Georgiades got a beautiful lift, couldn't pull it off. Can this set the Hawks alight? They muff it up again. Burne-Jones applying pressure. The Sava runner to Liam is there as well as Rioli. Just not quite working for the Hawks at the moment. Curtis Tavoy gets it underway. Sweet bangs ball on boot. Smothered. And just that little bit of scoreboard pressure being created at the moment, which is the greatest pressure of them all, Richo.
It certainly is. 19 inside 50s to 8. So, BT, you have to get the scoreboard pressure on. When you've got this territory dominance, you've got to convert, because you know there'll be a period here where Hawthorn get going.
Sicily, just his fifth. And an unusual error. It sums up what we've seen so far from the Hawks. Uncharacteristic. Tumbling ball, Zerk Thatcher. Oh, well done. Looks a totally different player. Off to Horn Francis. Brought his way through that really nicely. Burgoyne has been very impressive so far in this game. DeRozzi.
Just making the Hawks defend for longer periods here. These kicks and marks. This is the opposite to what Hawthorn did last week.
Aaliyah. Logan Evans. Now, no choice but to go long down the line. Sicily comes at it. Again, really strong tackling heat here from Port Adelaide. Burgoyne, nice and hard. Rosie, back to Burgoyne. Boat gets around a couple with some disco steps and then he's gone.
He fell into the bear trap. What about Chase Burgoyne? He is just absolutely best on at the moment.
He is showing real composure for a young player. 11 disposals, 86%.
Excellent offensively, but defensively on Watson. Shut him down a couple of times.
Nash, what can the Hawks do? Can they get it going from here? Here's a All-Australian in the middle of the ground. They get an entry down there inside 50 to Ginnivan. Got out over the back. Opportunity for the big fella. Meek tries to soccer and pick it up. Where are the littles? Fast handball out the back door to Aaliyah. Aaliyah on to Miles Bergman. Bergman pumps a long ball. Radaglia couldn't hold the mark. 2-on-1 the Hawks here. Morrison's got him. Can the Hawks lift and find? No, the tackle is too high from Morrison.
I reckon he would have been disappointed there, Radaglia. As a big man, your job is to mark those. He got two hands to it. He got lucky at ground level.
I don't know why he got the free.
Neither do I.
There's no high tackle there.
High ball. It's going to be a ball in. This offensive machine that has been the Hawks over the last 4 months cannot get going at all. Zach Butters. Another clearance for him. High ball in the Rioli direction. Willie Rioli. Frankie Evans.
This is where Port have been so good tonight. They've lost the contested possession the last 4 games. At the moment, they're plus 16 against the Hawks tonight. In and under, that's where they've been doing it. Ferocious in the contest.
Will do. We'll get a stoppage inside forward 50.
And it's really hard for Hawthorn to get out of these situations. Have a look at that there. So many numbers. You've got Lockie Jones back as the loose, the +1. So it's going to be tough to transition out of this.
It's by no means a dominant Port Adelaide crowd here. Hawthorn have got plenty of support inside this Adelaide Oval here tonight. Meek in front, Horn Flantis was there. They have to be careful here, the Hawks. Rioli, little left footer across the face. And they'll get another stoppage in the opposite pocket. So time in their 50. 3 goals, 5, 8 scoring shots there to 2. 21-point Port Adelaide lead here.
Newcomb. Got it floated out of there. It was touched. You heard from the umpire. Chol content in the end.
Look at this.
You've got to be careful doing that.
Marshall. Shovel it back to Sicily. Carl Amon. It's a sidewinder down the line. It might work international though. Gobbled up by Evans. Turnover. Inside. Burn Jones gets a hand in. And follows up and hits the post.
What a tackle. To turn that over and get it coming back. What a tackle. Logan Evans take a bow.
And the pickup from Bergman on the run was outstanding as well.
Sicily feel like the Hawks, well, obviously yet to hit their straps, but they can just get a passage together to gain some confidence here. McGuinness sets Ginnivan a target. And Ginnivan, just the one touch so far. Mind you, there are 3 players for Hawthorn that have just touched it once in this game.
Well, it just hasn't been in their forward half, BT. Only 9 inside 50s.
The neutral territory boundary throw in here. Meek with the knockdown, Sweet out the back door. Boat, the old campaigner, the 300-plus gamer, goes inside the forward end.
And Radagalia takes it over.
Hodgie, have they done enough damage? 22 inside to 9.
You probably think not. The amount that they've dominated the game. Port Adelaide 3 goals, 6. They haven't converted the way that they wanted to. And you know that at some stage Hawthorn are going to get a run back at them, but they've just been excellent around the contest. 20 clearances to 9.
It's 4 minutes of hot ball, as they call it, JB, to be back in front for the Hawks.
No doubt about that.
Gee, there's some hot jumpers getting around here tonight. Goodies.
Sweet little hand in and then a crunching tackle on Morrison. Meek blocked brilliantly by Mead. Taken to ground. And we're happy with it at this end of the ground, Port Adelaide.
Can you explain hot ball to us, Richard? What is it? I think it's just excitement, BT, in a word. I think they bought the trademark hot. They did. They bought it during the week.
Bon Francis.
Port Adelaide are owning it at the moment.
Charging through that stoppage. Newcomb. Again, Burgoyne with great desperation. Warple. Some open field finally here for Hawthorn. Bergman has a hold, I reckon.
Just unnecessary from Leo. Bergman was always going to intercept mark that. We'll have another look at it. Yeah, they're just the arms around.
That's been good. He's been trying to play from behind Alira just so he can try and do that.
Has not touched the ball so far in this game, Kalshadir.
He showed he's got a cool head last week when he had a chance to convert in a big final.
Against the run of play for the Hawks first. Slots it. First goal of the night.
So you could feel the enthusiasm that created in the group, JB.
Yep, 13 and a half minutes into the second term. It's taken them a long time. But they're only 16 points adrift.
Well, this has been the idea. Try and get it behind Alira. He's such a good player when the ball's in front of him, when his opponent's in front of him. If you can hit the contact and get a run and jump at the ball, you try to do the right thing and block Bergman. But Kelsey Deer, for a young guy, has been so important for the young forward line.
Abs, I've just seen Marshall go down the rooms. Is that a concussion thing? You there, Abs?
Down to the room, so we'll keep an eye and come back to you as soon as I know more.
Opportunity here. Rosie. Lyons. Can this work for the Hawks now? Moore. And he's got the free. So you just feel that the tide is ever so slightly just changing a little here. Gunston offers the lead that's ignored. Joel is the target. Deep over the top is Dia. Newcomb got the handball away. Mabsy Toll with one claw. He's nailed in the Jones tackle. It was a superb goal-saving tackle.
It played it against Lockie Jones.
I don't like that. I thought he was as gentle as he could be lowering him to the ground.
Slung him around.
Whistle too.
Didn't really dump him, did he?
Gee.
That had to be... Did he just get a foot to it? I thought he was going to be holding the ball.
He did get a foot to it as well, Richo. Whether it hit the ground first, I
think it did. It was a drop kick.
But this is a change in the game. All of a sudden, from no goals to being within one. Chol, 25 metres out directly in front. The left footer puts it through the big ones, and Hawthorn are back in business. That's how quickly it can change if you don't capitalise on the scoreboard.
See, that's a big call. I don't know. He laid him down. When you take into account the tackling we've had so far in this game, Richo, is that?
I don't think it should have been paid, but it has.
I think that's where, hit the ground.
I think that's where the umpire was on that side. I would hope he's not suspended for a tackle like that, because there was no malice and it was a great tackle. The umpire saw the arms were pinned and the head hit the ground. But you're right, BT. There's been some ferocious tackles so far tonight.
2 in a row here for the Hawks. Can they start building on that? Some momentum.
Port have been the most inaccurate team this year. Should have been further in front.
Enjoying a nice little stretch here. Newcomb at the back. Control. Pretty well by Jones, but that's what Scrimshaw has done well all year. To McGuinness.
Port Adelaide clock up the middle.
Scrimshaw goes there, Hodgie. Big ball this one. Newcomb busted out of his hands. Rosie did brilliantly well. Too strong there for Butters by hand. Watson. Again, the heat comes from Port Adelaide. Burgoyne. Zerk Thatcher. Kick didn't work. Best patch of the game here for the Hawks. Warple. Drew, how good? Got a hand in. Otherwise it was Calcineers.
Gee, that's hard to do as well. We see so many front-on free kicks played. To go back, to impact the ball and not give a free kick away there, Drew, that's outstanding.
Wow, so many incredible efforts, both sides there.
Can we go back to Jace Burgoyne before as well? So composed, so calm, so clean.
Meek, to get more on the run there. This game has changed, it's turned, it's now a 2-horse race. Hawthorn getting a fair bit of opportunity at their end. The tackle by Wines.
This is the first time Port Adelaide have had to defend repeat entries, repeat stoppages. Can they hold up?
Meek and Wines should outreach him, does. Newcomb on the hump. They're on him. Tackling from both sides at a peak at the moment.
This is where Port Adelaide just saturated the stoppage.
And another dangerous tackle.
This is where it's so hard for the players. You've been wound up like a top.
Now 50, Richo. Guaranteeing the goal.
That shouldn't have been a dangerous tackle.
He helped his head go into the ground there.
Seriously, this is the final. They're wound up all week over here. They don't take that.
It's a goal. Dylan Moore. 3 in a row. Just got to regain some composure here, Port Adelaide. You can agree with the decisions or not. And some calm heads involved.
Well, it's a controversial one. A couple of angles here. For me, it's play on here. I reckon Moore helped the head go into the ground. He didn't look at any discomfort. I'm just not sure the way this game's been played.
And the hardest thing, if the umpire plays a free kick your way, you can't go and give that away, that descent free kick. It was a shot from 50 metres on a tough angle. Just an easy goal to Hawthorn.
The tackling's almost gone. You can't do that. There is Chol.
It's getting to the point where you can't take him to ground.
Is that? I mean, the umpires are probably doing the right thing.
No, they've been instructed
They're
to.
paying what they're told to pay. Their fault. Here's Burgoyne. You heard the play on call. It was clear. D'Ambrosio. Fast hands out the back. Grabbed on here by Ward. Burgoyne's got him as well.
We're asking a lot of the players and the umpires. at the moment in these situations.
And holding the ball. Moore. Down the line to Dean. Moore gets it back. Gets his space closed down by Jones. Butters. Georgiades has got to stand under this, Drew. Now Radigalia, Rioli there as well. What about the give? Burn Jones. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's some quality right there. Rioli for a start with a look away. And a sublime finish from Darcy Byrne-Jones, answering goal, Port Adelaide.
This all started with Jones's pressure there to turn the ball, knock it out from Moore. And then, as we know, Port Adelaide can move the ball as fast as anyone. No surprise, Rioli clean, flicked it over to Byrne-Jones. And just the composure. After the Hawks had the momentum, that's all they need. The crowd's behind them.
Crucial response there because they were challenged, and we know what happened when they were challenged recently. To kick the goal is showing some resilience. So Port fans would be happy with that. But make no mistake about it, Mabsy Chol out of the middle has shown what they're about here at the moment. The Hawks are starting to run on top of the ground.
That was a great centre clearance, wasn't it? Chol grabbing it out of the ruck. Good clearance.
3 goals to 2 in the quarter for the Hawks. Warple bursting through with power from 40, lets it rip. Warple misses.
Great shot of this magnificent oval. And the stadium that surrounds it. Sin. Sweet and Weddle. Wines. Warple dived on the footy according to Trav Boak.
Warple just last few minutes he's getting involved, Warple.
Butters. Sweet went and got it. Nash got a good piece of him.
This is where you watch Port Adelaide, Mitch. Try and get on the move. Good mismatch in the ruck. Should be trying to hit it forward.
Sweet. Head up and down here. Weddle. And good smother by Butters, impressive. I think it was out of bounds. The umpire ball it up anyway. The crowd here tonight is deafening. I'm told it's very close to a record crowd. 53,817 is the record crowd for a footy game. We are going to go very close to getting hold of that tonight. It's noisy. I can't see any spare seats anywhere. They're all full. Everyone's loving it. Heaps of Hawthorn support here. Plenty of Port support, plenty of footy support. There's the battery. Starting to run out. Sweet. You heard the call. Horn Francis so clean. Evans, Narkle, through the middle of the ground. Launching ball. Rioli's been a menace down there. Well done in the end by Sarong.
There were a few boos there. Looked like there may have been a push in the back to Georgiades.
Evans with a nice thump. Narkle to find a way back inside here for Port Adelaide. Georgiades back with the flight. Hardwick. His space closed down. Butters. McDonald. Colin McDonald with a free kick. Gunston, some movement for him. Newcomb. And the mark's paid.
So Weddle might have a mismatch here on Horn Francis in the pocket. So Weddle it's just crossed it over. He changed that well, horse Horn Francis.
Kicks it to a dangerous spot. No one actually touched the ball in the air. Dear. Ginnivan, a fumble. Rosie. And a fall on him.
They're too firm for Ginnivan, JB. It was a harsh handball from his teammate. Came really quick.
Hold the meter.
So Hawthorn in this quarter have closed the gap. There's 3 minutes to half time.
Hold the meter, Jordan, hold the meter.
By our Andrew Stevens there. Little knockdown here to Mead. Around the corner, dribbler. Georgiades confronted. Impey to get good purchase on the ball. 2-on-1. Horn Francis flew. Evans was beaten by Moore. Moore gets around. Little kick along the ground. Hawthorn menacing here. Sweet's got it all to do. Here they come. Wonderful pick up, Morrison. Give it around the corner. Goal. Hawthorn have got 4 in the quarter. Persistence from the Hawks.
So the Hawks don't mind this. When they can get it inside forward 50, get it to ground level, the big ruckman there, Sweet, he didn't want to be in that position. He tried to tap it out, and they just had too many numbers at ground level. Ginnivan ends up with it. They don't mind that, though. They want it at ground level inside forward 50. Ginnivan finishes.
How's the crowd signalling to have a beer?
4 of the last 5 for the Hawks, and out they come again. For Newcomb, long ball here. It's belted away from Ginnivan, all controlled by Zerk Thatcher. Alia's got to be careful. Burgoyne's been really good. Very restless, the Port Adelaide fans. Evans a spill. Watson. Around a couple. Floating high ball. McGuinness almost. D'Ambrosio. Back to McGuinness. Here's Watson. D'Ambrosio wants his left side closed down. And that's deliberate.
Great pressure again. A couple of times there, Hawthorn looked to be out.
Well, that patch showed me that Port are up for the fight.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Because Hawthorn did their absolute best there. And Port were equal to it. So we've got 1:30 in the half, but Port have had good opportunity in the first quarter. Hawthorn have had the opportunity here in the second quarter. Sweet with the free ball.
And he goes long. Nick with the back.
A minute to go. Just want to be safe here, mate. Going long down the line.
His eyes are darting inboard, Hodgie.
I hope not. The only thing is his opposition ruckman's right down the same spot where he's kicking it.
And there is the opposition ruckman. Nicely trapped by Bergman. Lands inside the field of play. Burns-Jones. And Rioli just gets past him, but it's in a real handy spot.
It is indeed. Port Adelaide forward end, the hill end of this magnificent arena here at the Adelaide Oval. We've got a ripper second semi-final. Meat doing the ruck work with Sweet, who has a wind of Horn Francis. On the left, didn't quite get the depth on it. Scrimshaw. Need to be careful careful here, the Hawks. Impey. Neat ball outlined to Johnny Newcomb. Johnny Newcomb takes them on through the middle. Gee, they still want to go here, the Hawk. This could end up. Big win for Jones. Caught one in the mush. Get on with it, they say. The give and go from Wines. 9 seconds. Inside 50. Georgiades. Off-hand Rioli goal. With a second on the clock, Rioli's goal. Siren sounds.
Well, just in time. Welcome to halftime on Fox Sport 2 by Matronics. Jonathan Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis. But all Port did right. They only lead by 9 points. There is so much to unpack from that second quarter in particular. A few umpiring decisions that we'll no doubt touch on. But you just knew Hawthorn were going to get a run on. Eventually, they did, and it's game on.
Yeah, they got back on track of their stoppage game halfway through that quarter, and that really got them territory bucks, and obviously then they were able to score.
Yeah, well, Port Adelaide's pressure's been excellent, and they deserve this lead at halftime. And yeah, look, Hawthorn were able to stabilise, in that last half of that quarter, and they were able to put the score on the board due to some dubious tackle free kicks against. But in the end, this is exactly what we expected. A Port Adelaide side to respond, and a young Hawthorn side who have held up relatively well for the first 40 minutes, and then come back pretty hard in the last 10.
Oh, I think both sides, when the tide's going against them, they've held up. I mean, we just saw Scrimshaw mark then. I thought he's been fantastic. I even thought Port Adelaide, apart from those free kicks that they gave away that ended up in being goals for Hawthorn, I thought their defences from both teams have been very good.
Port have been playing like a team that is fully aware that a loss tonight may not only signal the end of their season, but may signal the end of their coach's tenure as well.
Yeah, and we mentioned that before the game. How many times they've had backs against the wall performances with Kenny, so we really shouldn't be surprised with the way they've responded. And they made some changes. Zach Butters is up and about. He looks great. Horn Francis into the middle. But this is the part of the game that's really sort of stood out to me. So Hawthorn would normally gain possession in tight and be able to find 2 or 3 uncontested handballs to find time and space. But what Port Adelaide have been able to do is prevent Hawthorn from being able to find that time and space. So in general play, they've gone man on man to take away uncontested marks. But in the contest, their pressure's been fierce on the Hawthorn ground ball, and they haven't been good enough, Hawthorn, to be able to find that time and space that they've been afforded for the last 12, 13, 14 weeks. And it really is changing the dynamic of the match.
And a lot of those numbers, if you look at that graphic there, was set up in the first 40 minutes of the game. Hawks were able to balance that up. That's why they got back in the game, no question about it. But it was ferocious by the power. You're spot on. They harnessed the energy of the crowd and they brought it, which was magnificent. And I love the response from the young leaders, especially Rosie, especially Butters. And Butters, obviously, we know he's carrying a crook rib now. What they've done behind the scenes to get him up, it's bloody worked, because he's willing to take on the world tonight.
But that was it. There was so much pressure on those three in particular. I mean, Jason Horn-Francis had a decent game last week, but particularly Rosie and Butters, and they've come to play. They've delivered so far.
Yeah, and I think off the back of what these boys are talking about, when they win it inside and they're able to create that pressure, then what I've really liked is their outside game, so their ability to really explode from stoppage. So this was the first set of bounce of the second quarter, and just watch there, Horn-Francis. Once he realises that they've won it, he's been involved, there's no point in him hanging around. Run forward and try and test the Hawthorn mids. We see there Newcomb still watching the ball, trying to keep an eye on Horn-Francis there, but we all know he's got such a high cruising speed and gets forward of the ball, and this is where they really draw up the defenders. Hawthorn have really struggled, I think, forward of the ball, making decisions when to hold back and then when to come forward and pressure, and it's really been through the midfielders when they possibly can, really charging forward and making them accountable. And I think the other thing, apart from that, is we see Georgiades mark the ball. Their big forwards have been a really good presence in that forward line and jumping at the ball and disallowing the Hawthorn defenders, other than Scrimshaw, to have a real impact.
That lad, thanks to Zero. Well, all the questions have been, well, what is hot ball? But what we're seeing tonight, how to shut down hot ball.
Yeah, and I largely believe it's been done in that little circle, in the contest, because Hawthorn just haven't been able to get that run and carry game going. If you think the Kalshadir free kick that was Hawthorn's first goal, it was the only time that Hawthorn were able to get the ball through the midfield and actually work it through. Remember, a couple of chain of handballs. Warple had a run and a bounce and went long and deep. and it was the first time that a Port Adelaide defender was actually forced to play even numbered in space with a Hawthorn forward running back to goal, and they gave a free kick away. So, they'll be trying to work out how they can create an extra number. They played with 7 defenders. McGuinness played as a half forward and went in behind the ball to try and create an extra number for their run and carry. I'll be interested to see if they do that in the second half.
One to watch. Pepsi highlights, they revolve around Zach Butters. So much talk about how bad his ribs were, as you said. Brownie, what have they done? It's bloody worked.
Yeah.
He has been amazing. Not only his numbers, but just his tackle pressure, particularly in that first quarter. He really set the tone.
No, he did. And you need it. No doubt he's a heart and soul player. No question about it. Voted the most courageous player in the competition. And I'm glad he's been able to put that out there for all to see, because really difficult as a young leader when you get put in a scenario like this to be able to turn up. He had a huge amount of doubt coming into the game, a lot of anxiety around it, but he has delivered. And that obviously shows what he's made of, no question about it. That's why he's got the Pepsi highlight of the first half.
But shoot, the one stat you love is the tackle. It's like 6 tackles for a half. I think that's just what you want from those players in that type of environment. So you're right, they've really bought in, that they look energised, and they've really bought into the stuff that's not as sexy as, the open spaces, using the ball really well.
Let's bring in the 8-time All-Australian Mark Rasciuto. What are you seeing at ground level, Roo?
I tell you what I am seeing is a fired-up Port Adelaide. I had a chat to Ken Hinkley off microphone before the game, and he said the boys are up and about. The pressure that they put on Hawthorn was superb in that first quarter and a half, and Buck said it just before. Usually Hawthorn can chain the ball out of the contest with 2 or 3 handballs and try and find the loose player, but they were trying to do that in that first quarter, and Port were all over and causing turnovers, getting some holding the balls, but to the credit of Hawthorn, they fought back into that second quarter and got right up to speed and got their way back in the game. So it's a really interesting point of the contest now. Will Hawthorn keep going? Can Port Adelaide keep it up? Port Adelaide were the second best side in the competition for the home and away series for pressure on the ball carrier, and they're certainly bringing it tonight.
Yeah, they're bringing the heat. What about the fans down there, Roo? Are they being nice to you, the Port Adelaide fans?
Yeah, I'm just weaseling my way out back up to the grandstand. But no, they're pumped. They're happy. They're absolutely rapt that their team has showed up tonight, unlike last week.
You're being nice. Thank you, Mark Rasciuto on the battery. Let's head into the newsroom now with John Ralph. A couple of dangerous tackles in that quarter, Ralphie.
Hello, Kat. So Hawthorn's first 3 goals, all from free kicks, 2 of them unbelievably contentious. Let's roll through them here. So, look, I think the AFL would still say, as much as you guys won't like this one, that they would ask their umpires to pay this decision. So both of the arms of Marbia Chol pinned, and you can see there that Lockie Jones does tackle him and his head hits the ground, not with enough force for an MRO suspension, but they would say that's a free kick. I'm happy for you to disagree. And the second one, I think that they were unbelievably stiff here. So Dylan Moore exacerbating the head-high contact with Jace Burgoyne. Moore has won 18 head-high free kicks for the year. He knows exactly where his head is in relation to the ground there. Now, again, you might say, if you bring in these rules, the players will milk them. It is so hard for those umpires. What's your take, guys?
Oh, I think you're right. You do feel for the umpires in that instance, because we've just watched it on slow-mo. You can clearly see both of those boys have exasperated their head contact on the ground. I understand why the umpires paid the free kick, but I don't think those 2 players will be in any trouble.
Quickly?
In the flow of the game, the first tackle that Jones laid looked fair, and we wondered where the free kick was coming from. When you look at the replay, you can see it, but well, I didn't think there was a dumping motion in that one. The Moore one, it actually looked like there was a dumping motion, but there wasn't really any head contact. So fortunate on both accounts for the Hawks.
Massive second half coming up. Let's check in with Sportsbet.
All right, folks. There we go. Half time at Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide. 5-6-36 leading the Hawks. 4-3-27. There we go. It's Port Adelaide by 9 points. I tell you what, this is finals footy, folks. This is what we've all come to see and hear. Tell you what, this is what our game is all about. This is what finals footy is all about. It's different to the home and away season. You make the finals, you bring the pressure. I tell you what, both of these teams are bringing the pressure. Port Adelaide bringing more pressure, but Hawthorn, good to see, got back into the game there, kicking 4 goals, 1 in that second quarter to Port Adelaide. 3 goals, 3. Of course, you never knows. Kicking a little bit wayward may come back to bite Port Adelaide. That being said, as I was just discussing, Hawthorn's first 3 goals came from free kicks. And of course, dubious free kicks that probably should not have been there to begin with. So, where does that leave Hawthorn? Can they get their game going? Can they get their freestyle play running? Will Port Adelaide keep up the pressure for 4 quarters? Can they keep the heat going? That's what we're going to find out in just over 9 minutes' time before the bounce of the ball to the second half. I tell you what, my head thinks, well, I don't know. You know what? My head thinks Port Adelaide, if they continue, they'll go on to win this match. But my gut feeling says I don't know. I just don't know. I'm still waiting, like everyone else. I'm still waiting for the Hawks to get their little bit of momentum going, get the control of the game, get the way they play, their flow, their run, their handball, their fast-paced, the way they play, and just run from end to end with goals. I tell you what, it's too hard to call this game. But don't forget to vote, folks. Don't forget to vote. We've got the vote up the top. Who do you think's going to win the game? 79 votes in so far. And we've got 51% saying Hawthorn, 49% saying Port Adelaide. Let's go and have a look at the stats on your favourite players here. All right, so it's Jai Newcomb leading the way with 17 disposals on the ground for Hawthorn up until half-time. 4 kicks, 13 handballs, 3 marks, 4 tackles. Jack Scrimshaw next best with 14. When you see these stats, folks, no one's dominating. No one's dominating. That's because both teams, they're playing their role, the players, everyone's sharing the load. It's great football when this is happening. All right, Jace Burgoyne there for Port Adelaide. He's the leading disposal getter there for Port with the 14 touches, 8 kicks, 6 handballs, 5 marks and a couple of tackles there. Ollie Wines next best with 12 with Jason Horne-Francis, who seems to be having a reasonably good game there. Got plenty of run in his legs there tonight with his 12 touches. He's had 9 kicks. Connor Freeze with 11. Dylan Moore with 11 for the Hawks. McGuinness also with 11. Zach Butters there coming in hard at the ball. He's played a great game so far. I tell you what, Port Adelaide will be happy to have the champ back, Zach Butters. Let's keep going down. James Warple just with the 8. Sicily, tell you what, he's been under a little bit more pressure than we normally see James Sicily down back there for the Hawks. He's had the 8 possessions, 4 kicks, 4 handballs. Let's keep going down a little bit. Lockie Jones, 8 there. Jarman Impey, just the 8 disposals there for the Hawks. Let's keep going down. There was one other play there I was going to mention when we get down to him. There we go. Connor McDonald, 5 for the Hawks. So there are a few with a small disposal count. And of course, Mabe Chol is one of them. He needs to do a little bit more. He's just had the 4 touches, 3 kicks, 1 handball, 1 mark, 1 tackle. He's kicked a goal. The other one was Jack Ginnivan. Well, you know, Jack, you know, you're pretty good in the home and away games. I tell you what, son, you got to handle the pressure. This is finals football. This is where the pressure goes up 10 notches. You get into the game and you've got to lift. You've got to lift, son. You've got to lift. You've got to lift your team. Put them on light. The same with the Wizard. Cashley Deer, he's been a little bit quiet. He was a standout there last week for the Hawks. He just needs to lift a little bit more. 3 possessions, 1 kick. He's kicked a goal. There we go. I think that was one of those 3 kicks. Jack Gunston, he's a little bit quiet there this evening. Just with a couple. Mitch Georgiadis, just as quiet for Port Adelaide with 2 kicks off his 2 possessions. But he's kicked 1 goal, 1. So no worries. So there is the Wizard. He's quiet with Jack Ginnivan. The 2 little ratbags up forward for Hawthorn. He's only had the 4 touches. He tried to drop to the ground, duck his head, but, you know, the Port Adelaide players were too smart for that, as he always tries to duck his head to get a free kick, does Nick Watson. But there we go. He's only had 4 touches. He's got to lift. He's got to lift his game. And tell you what, it's a different kettle of fish, folks, when you are free-flowing to when the pressure is absolutely enormous. The goal scorers for the game, no multiple goal scorers so far in this game. All single goal scorers. And, of course, those goal scorers to Port Adelaide. Connor Rose, he was the first goal scorer of the game. Willie Rioli, who kicked one on the siren there at half-time. Todd Marshall, Mitch Georgiadis, and Darcy Byrne-Jones for Port Adelaide. For Hawthorn, single goal scorers to Dylan Moore, Jack Ginnivan, Cash Ledia, and Chol. Here we go. Let's have a quick glance at the team stats. If you want to keep up to date with the team stats, it's pretty even. Pretty even, Stevens. 169, 159. Port by 10 on the disposal count. About 19 more kicks, but just a few less handballs. The inside 50s, Port doing it a little bit better there. 27 inside 50s for 11 scoring shots on season average. Hawthorn under season average, just with the 18 for 7. Port Adelaide's defence holding up really strong. Disposal efficiency, I should say, around the ground, 68-69. Both teams going about similar. Inside 50, efficiency 48-39. Look, both teams could probably lift there, but that's good pressure again by the defence. 14-15 free kicks. Port Adelaide by 1 there. The stoppages, hit-outs, pretty tight there, 22-20. Port Adelaide's weight. Clearances, Port Adelaide by 6. The centre clearances, Hawthorn in that department are leading by 1. Of course, the stoppage clearances, there we go. Contested possessions, Port Adelaide, I say they're a bit harder at the ball. Uncontested, Hawks by 10. Turnovers, there we go. Pretty normal. And the marks, both teams clunking the ball, 37-36. Marks inside 50. Port finding their targets well inside 50. And again, I reiterate, that is thanks to Dixon going out of the team. Port Adelaide are finding those targets. We're only 3 minutes away, folks, before we get to the bounce of the ball for the third quarter. For the second half, it's going to be an absolute crack. I tell you what, don't go anywhere, folks. Don't go anywhere, because this game is about to start in 3 minutes' time. I wonder if Marshall will come back. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But as soon as the commentators come back up, we'll take you down to the ground, and they will take us in to the bounce of the ball for the third quarter, the second half here at Adelaide Oval. I tell you what, this really is a great game. It's exciting to listen to. It's exciting to watch. And the great commentators here commentating the game tonight. Let's just hope tomorrow's second semi is going to be just as brilliant as this game tonight. I tell you what. So don't forget, folks, tomorrow we've got the second semi-final. Of course, that's GWS Giants taking on the Brisbane Lions at Engie Stadium in Sydney. And that comes up tomorrow night, 7:30 Melbourne time. We should be on live here at about 7:15 Melbourne time, ready for that. Of course, it's a packed seat there in the football over there at Adelaide Oval. There's not an empty seat in the stadium, says Harvey. Good stuff. Good stuff. I tell you what, the atmosphere sounds incredible at the football. And when you get a game like this, your home side is doing really well, and the visitors have come over, and there's plenty of support from either side, and the crowd's getting in and amongst it. It's absolutely electrifying. All right, folks, that's enough of me. Let's take you back down to the commentators, and they'll take us into the bounce of the ball for the third quarter.
Missed a large chunk of that second quarter. We have been told he's good to go, so he is right to play out this second half.
Yeah, it's a great time for Port Adelaide. I thought he was terrific in the first quarter, especially before he whacked his head in that tackle. Obviously, he's gone off to be assessed, but he's important down the line. But Hawthorn, they really turned the table that last 20 minutes, didn't they?
They did. I'll be keeping an eye out for whether Port can maintain this rage. They've obviously brought some emotional intensity into the beginning of this game, and they've been led really well by their best players through the middle of the field. Butters, Rosie, Horn Francis has been up and about, and their young halfbacks have been excellent. Burgoyne, Evans, Jones. But I mean, this is where Hawthorn have been able to get back into the game, and it was through their grunt. It wasn't their open field play. It was clearances. It was contest. Newcomb really got to work. So, the balance of that is up for grabs. First 5 or 10 becomes so important.
I think Sam Mitchell made a move from the coach's box to really open up their forward line. Only the one mark inside forward 50 to Hawthorn, so that would be an improvement. But you're right, it's in and around the contest where whichever side is on top, they certainly get field position, give themselves a chance to hit the scoreboard.
They've got their ace, queen and king in the set of outs, Bucks.
They have, it's going to be head-to-head there. McGuinness has started as a forward again for Hawthorn. Does he go behind the ball to try and create that extra number? Not so much to defend, but for them to create their offence from the back half.
A spot in the preliminary finals up for grabs. Who's it going to be, Port Adelaide or Hawthorn?
3. Hawthorn have got some pretty good juice in there too. There'll be a recall bounce. Out of the middle come Hawthorn. Bounce the ball, Warple, it didn't come back to him. Now he's gone. No, gets a high free.
Stand. 15, play on.
Nash got a play on, round the body ball. Zach Thatcher comes hard at it, Burgoyne. And they'll get a ball up.
He was lucky there, Jace Burgoyne. Almost got caught with that. So the Hawks immediately into the hill end attack, their forward end. Sweet over the top. Young, athletic ruckman here. Watson found a little space here for Gunston.
Great start, Bully.
This is the Marshall hit. This is what happened to Marshall in the first half, but a little bit of a knee to the back of the neck more than the head, I suspect there. A little bit wobbly there on his feet. He was checked and he's been given the all clear. That's all that matters in the end. Here's Watson, who's been threatening. Got it to Meek. Took him on, got rid of the ball. Willem Drew now to Horn Francis with a clearing ball out here. D'Ambrosio's got his man in tight. Might have given away the free. It'll go against D'Ambrosio and he's disappointed.
Come on, stand.
Darcy Byrne-Jones. Thought about the corridor and then thought the better of it. Radigalera fly. And Georgiades steps out.
This is probably a reason why they don't have these three in the middle. They're too aggressive. Butters is a sweeper. You cannot leave the sweeper position because if the ball comes straight out the front, your defenders are helpless. Lucky for Port Adelaide that he bounced it and didn't come back.
Drew's starting on the wing. He's the one that would be the sweeper, right?
Yep.
Good spot, Hodgie. Meek. Newcomb. Butters and Drew go to work.
Thank you, Jordan.
Little kick in may just work. Hardwick tries to bust his way through the Horn Francis tackle. Meek backed in.
So, Hodgie, it's not the time to have three wingers in the centre bounce. You need one defensively minded.
Yeah, you got the two that are front that can be aggressive. That sweeper has to stay there just so the ball can't come at the front, as we just saw it happen.
Hinkley next to him, this ball up.
Drew's on D'Ambrosio, though, who's only had 8 touches, been a big ball winner, a big uncontested ball winner for Hawthorn.
Sweet. There's Warple. Keep it in play. Nice ball to Nash. Bit of a spiral. Good looking bar to Dia. Out the back, Jones slipped over at the crucial moment. Chol trying to sweep the ball on.
We will arm wrestle early in this third term. Near full house. Zach Thatcher, Chol. Ball's over. It was over. Not paid by the umpire.
She was right there.
And then Watson's going to get a high free. So out of the non-decision, they'll get a shot on goal.
Here's the mark.
It looked a long way out to the naked eye. What are we thinking? Oh, no.
Move out.
Oh, no.
Stay there. Stay there.
The Wizard gets it. First goal, second half, Hawks. So they're getting a nice little look here, the Hawks. And a really, really good finish for Watson.
So this is the non-decision that was clearly out of bounds, and then a free kick to Watson for a high tackle. Fair enough, he was down low trying to win the footy, and then the finishing goal for the Wizard.
That certainly looked out. I mean, sometimes they can be an optical illusion, but that looked out.
Look at the Hulk, Richo.
And he loved it.
You ever seen a flex like that?
I have, from him before. He loves it. A few Wizards in the crowd enjoyed it as well. The court fans aren't happy.
In the middle, Newcomb. Starting to wind up a little here, the Hawks. Controlling the footy in this back end, Hardwick. Gets it to half forward, Burgoyne in front. He's out leaped on that occasion there by McGuinness. McGuinness says, come at me. Sends a low ball inside 50. Watson's taken the mark, I think. He has. Much to the delight of the Hawthorn fans in the background.
He timed that lead perfectly. He was isolated in the goal square and he had great space in front of him. You had to hold on to a nice grab there too.
If he kicks this, Hawthorn will have kicked 6 of the last 7 goals in this game. And they are starting to roll, the Hawks. Porter going to have to respond big time if this is through the middle. Watson for 2 in a minute has nailed it.
Doesn't mind the moment. The Wizard. Beautiful finish, great hands and great timing of the lead. He had space in front of him and he used it perfectly on that lead.
The reason why this unfolded is because of Deer. He kept Aliir occupied. Normally Aliir drops off, takes those intercept marks. He kept him focused on Deer, created the space for open up for Watson to lead into. It was a great contested mark, and more importantly, a second goal in 2 minutes.
Well, he's normally more worried about watching where the ball is. He just got really preoccupied with Deer there.
That was Deer getting behind. Yeah. That's where you get behind Aliir, takes his focus off of the ball.
Sweet. Slapped it wide. Horn Francis missed with the attempted one off the ground. Boat high. Gallier lands for Wines. Flicking handball, Rioli. Willie Rioli.
How good's that?
The vision is sublime.
We highlighted it before. His decision-making is first class. And he does it when he's on the move. He makes the decision on the move. Down to you, Abs.
Hawthorn have made their sub, so Jack Gunston comes out and Luke Bruce in game 300 into the action.
The veterans swapping places. Into Narkle to respond here for Port Adelaide. And always look right.
What Jack Gunston has been able to do the back end of the year has been playing as a negating forward against the main intercept person, and that's Aliir tonight, but Deer's had that role, so that's why they'll take Gunston off, bring on fresh legs in Luke Bruce, and he'll probably do as he does most times. He comes on and try and snag one or two early.
Same move as they made last week, Hawthorn. Not a surprise. Here's Sicily.
So the Wizards really trying to stretch the ground out here. He's standing about 25 metres out on Bergman. He likes that matchup. He's got too much pace. They're trying to exploit it.
Sicily. Down the line here, big pack of players. Peter at the back with a little spoil. They have given Watson the whole inside 50 at the moment. If Hawthorn get a quick release from this, and they may well do, Weddle. He immediately attacks through run. The good give and go. The kick on the left, not so good. Aaliyah standing in the way for the Port Adelaide Footy Club.
He had Mead on, didn't go there. Short one for Zerk Thatcher. They want to spread it dangerously. Bergman, always good overhead. Driving ball here. Marshall in front. Horn Francis a play on the footy. Well done, Marshall to Boat. Back to Horn Francis. Through the middle come Port Adelaide Wines. Just held up. And then he kicks to a 1v about 4. Scrimshaw to Weddle.
Gee, they had great defensive shape there. They always had the release. So if they won the ball, they're going to get the release and they can be out here.
I feel they're starting to get their noses in front here now, the Hawks. Weddle to Ginnivan.
Transition's getting them now, BT.
Beautiful ball from Ginnivan inside to McGuinness. The punch away in desperation from Drew. Lyons has a big win. They're under the pump from Mead. Bruce might have given the free away. This is a big segment in this game coming up here now, Richo.
Yeah, a little bit of slingshot happening and it suits Hawthorn a lot more.
So Thatcher to Boak. Radagalier comes at him. Just had to bring it to ground, but did that pretty cleverly. And now a dirty ball inside 50. Hardwick's been resolute. McDonald.
Can't go fast. Horn Francis is way down the line. They're on for the switch.
Lowers the eyes and misses Newcomb. On the up from Wines and out of play.
Just starting to swing things around, a bit clearance and contested footy as well. The Hawks, that's a really good sign for them. Well beaten in that area in the first half. They start winning that, you know the outside run's going to come with it.
So a response needed here from the home team. Nash. Newcomb dispossessed himself. Well done, Evans. But then he ran into trouble. Slapped it into the path of Mead. Just tumbles it forward. And what's the umpire thinking here? It's a throw in.
That is a shocking decision. He had no other intention but to put that out of bounds.
And he had no forwards on, so that was all he wanted to do. So
what would they have done if that was in the back half, Richo?
She definitely insufficient intent.
Look at that.
Look at that. He had no forwards on, so it ended up being a good kick. That's all he could do.
Well, you used to be able to do that.
That actually had that much power, went over the fence.
There's O'Leary, can't afford to mess up here. He arches the back. So Thatcher arrived in the nick of time. Bergman with his 15th touch in the game. He's told to go. This is risky. This is big time. Here are the Hawks loading up. Nash needs to knock it out, not pull it in. Narkle saves the day. Hawks are surrounding from all angles.
That was big by Narkle. He just had to get there and clamp that up, and he did.
Sweet. Mead. Ward won a good ball. Zerk Thatcher's been much, much better. Burgoyne pops it to Boku, starting to get busy.
They're the ones Charles got to find a way to get to ground.
Connor Rosie. Wines, worried out of it. Newcomb, gone. Found a way to get a handball off. Did a really good job there, John Newcomb. Sicily. Chol. Zerk Thatcher. Drew came in, got it to Connor Rosie, and he flicks it to Zerk Thatcher. Sin just bangs it on the boot. Evans unable to mark. Numbers now with Hawthorn at ground level. Fumble from McDonald. Drew a boot in. Back to Frankie Evans.
They
Didn't
can't
time
find
the
the
kick
mark.
at all. To the back, the dangerous Rioli. Taken out of it, no free. Ball up.
Little too much cream on top of that. The attempt then from Rioli, I think that worried the umpires.
Really good.
Yep, and so it should have.
They can't find a mark for the centre point. They've got to get a winner there.
Oh, Meat Magnificent down the throat of Nash. To 2-on-1. Zerk Thatcher's got 2 on him. Here's the sub in Bruce. Zerk Thatcher needed to get rid of it. Bruce, lovely to Ginnivan. Ginnivan with a slicing right foot banana inside 50. Evans. Logan Evans saves the day. Sets Bergman a task here at halfback. Crucial time in this game. It's a fight between the halfbacks at the moment. Weddle gets it and goes to Impey. Impey wide to Amon. Needs to be clean at his feet. Got it inside 50. Ginnivan's got to beat 2. Burgoyne flies. Evans wins to Sin.
Now we're into the middle of the ground. Drew did well. Horn Francis is out. Rioli, goal side. What about the kick from Horn Francis? Did not have to break stride, Willie Rioli. Silver service from number 18.
I think the way Port Adelaide like to play, Richo, this slingshot back and forth style of football, it opens the field up for them. They're beautiful kicks.
Kicked a goal with a second left in the first half. Now he's got another one. Port back in front. Willie Rioli. And don't underestimate the ball that he received from Jason Horn-Francis.
Willie Rioli gets this goal because of Georgiades here. This is just a terrific contest. 2-on-1 in the air, and then some real composure from Drew and Horn-Francis, and Willie Rioli reads the play quicker and gets out the back. But there was some real heat on that ball for a minute or so there. It was pinging around, and Georgiades' huge contest.
Been good all night, Rioli. Butters streaming out of the middle. Sends a deep bound ball, Sicily. Sensational grab. Weddle. Scrimshaw. And they settle with a degree of composure. Sicily saying, don't send it back here. Send it down the line, please. We are puffed.
Port Adelaide have cut down the corridor. The only space for the Hawks is down the line.
Ward uses D'Ambrosio. He wants to go. Good ball for Chol. Nicely to half forward. With some uncontested football here, Hawthorn. Chol with the set-up kick. Zerk Thatcher missed it. Jones, just for a second, thought he was held. Aaliyah. Radagalia. Narkle. And over.
Supporter just got to find a way to equalise things back up around the stoppages. Since they were 22 points up, Hawthorn have really gone on top in that area. They've been 15-7 since. And it's one of the reasons they've got themselves right back in this game, the Hawks. Port got to swing it back their way on stoppage.
Sweet. Drew and no looker.
There's a good stoppage, BT.
Yeah, beautiful, wasn't it, Rosie? On the head of Marshall. Weddle the defender. Georgiades with the 1 minute. Keeps it alive. The dangerous Rioli with the spoil. They close in. Horn-Francis, Burn-Jones winds. Weddle. Hardwick. Dragged over the boundary line. And driven into the It's a throw in. Play on.
Got up a bit ginger after this, Mitch Georgiades. Crowd starting to really get involved. Scrimshaw, tumbler. Narkle, a little hand in. Marshall at the back. Pretty happy to see it over. Was Carl Amon. Tough, hard, tight semi-final. That's not a great kick. Impey retreats back to Morrison. He gets closed down by Wines. Logan Evans. Logan Evans keeps going. Marshall's got to compete here. Bring it to ground. He does. Rioli again. Flicks it to Wines. He's busted in a magnificent tackle. Boat goes to work at ground level. Ball up.
How hot is this? This is just simple. When they're under pressure, just take that out. You're a good stoppage team. You've been on top of the stoppages for the last quarter and a half. Take it out and reset.
Yeah, no handball back inside there. Boundary line's your friend in that situation.
Got even numbers here. Port haven't got any. They have now. They've just released Sir Thatcher back for a +1.
The passages of pressure-packed play. Warple, wonderful hands. Little to Scrimshaw. Clearing kick, but there's a lot of Port Adelaide jumpers here.
There's the +1.
Sir Thatcher. Some candy. Burn Jones. Probing ball. Knocked down Georgiades. He's hurt himself. In the meantime, Weddle is able to mount a challenge to Amon. Amon's got a clearing ball in the middle. Who can get on the end of this? Miles Bergman was there. He wins the free.
Importantly wins it.
Narkle's on the middle.
Goes there, gets past everyone. It's a free kick down to Narkle for a push. Georgiades hobbling. Got a huge job to do ahead of the ball for Port Adelaide the rest of this game. Zerk Thatcher steps around Chol. Marshall. Burn Jones. Nash has latched onto him.
Yeah, he had prior opportunity, didn't he?
It did, but still a huge tackle to stick.
Yeah, it was.
It's been some great tackling tonight.
Connor Nash. Game 98 for him. On the line here. Towards the 300 gamer and Bruce. Jones able to look it away. Sends it back into no man's land in here. Flying mark by Hardwick. It was well done immediately. Centres there's something on. The little smother here. Marshall Burn Jones. Dribbler goal. Back out by double figures. He's got a couple. A goal due to pressure.
Well, after a great intercept mark from Hardwick, I'm not sure if you can classify this as a smother, but it goes down on the stat sheet as one, but that's just keeping the ball in the forward line. Hardwick disappointed, but look at Port react. As soon as they saw the ball stay in there, Burn Jones picked it up quickly and had composure to put it through.
Got a second gamer as the sub for Port, Lorenz. When do they use him, Richo?
I think they'll wait till three-quarter time.
It's not a smother, Hodgie. That's a falcon. Radagalier handball. Connor Rosier to Narkle. That's a smother. Goes back and finds it, Narkle, but it's straight into the arms. Carl Amon.
This is where Hawthorn have got Chol deep with Gunston going off. It's only Deer and Chol. I think they need to squeeze him further up. They've been losing this contest the last 5 or so minutes.
Thump how to play from Asava Radigalia.
Lloyd.
It's been a physical game. It's been a good response from Port Adelaide. Kicked the last two after they were headed by the Hawks. Butters just lost his feet.
Still meeting.
Warple. To Morrison. Gets out of the Rosé tackle. Belts it inside 50. Zerk Thatcher doesn't quite get to him. Logan Evans got a hand in. Bergman over.
Gee, that run from behind from Morrison was important. They didn't have anything forward of the ball there, Hawthorn. He didn't provide that run. They wouldn't have had this stoppage inside forward 50. So important to come from behind the footy and create, and he did that well, Morrison.
A little bit of relief here for the Hawks defence. They've been under constant pressure for the last 6 or 7 minutes. Got it locked inside their end. Bundled out of the way. Bergman's done a good job. Jones being impressive as well. And so is this man here. Does he go on with it? Little low ball here to Georgiades. Picks it up off his toes. Did well, the big man. Narkle, the deliberate undergrounder. Into a bit of a corner. Burgoyne missed Mead. Now Hawthorn close. Impey's waiting for the troops to arrive. Mead did well to secure a ball up.
Kenny's intensity is matching that of his players. Warple certainly had time. Their tackling heat has been immense. And Drew, surprising no one, leading the charge.
That started with the frontal pressure with Horn Francis on Nash. Then the rest of them followed up.
6 tackles for Drew, JB.
Yeah, he's a beauty. Loved at this club.
Going to need Radigalia down the line. He's looking pretty tired at the moment, this Sava. He's just got to find a way to compete in the air here.
Lockie Jones goes in that direction. Richo, Meek. They all folded off him. Newcomb. A high one. Burgoyne.
Hawthorn, Bruce.
And the Hawks are going to get a free here. That helps.
There's some tired lads. They're hanging on for three-quarter time. Gee.
The 105th player to play 300 games here, Luke Bruce. There's a few of his premiership teammates in the stand there. Many of them have travelled over. I think you said 17, Hodgie. A big troop of them loyal to this man. Here is Chol with a mark inside 50. Here they come again, the Hawks. Knocked away from Moore. Boundary line would be a good win for Port Adelaide. Moore trying to keep it in. Burgoyne's pressure was good. Kenny Hinkley surveils the situation.
Is that Benny Stratton I saw? That's a very rare sighting if it was. Margaret River, he rarely heads out of there these days. Ball in. Meek, again Drew, look at him. A tackling animal.
Surprised with a minute left. Port haven't pushed some of their forwards down and clogged this up a bit more. They've got 4 forwards at the moment.
Free to the Hawks. This time it's more off the ball.
Good switch. Stand.
Dangerous player to be kicking it inside 50.
Jones is sitting in the hole.
How much would Hawthorn love a late one here? Dumps it in the path of Bruce.
Back 3 metres,
That was Meek that got out of the road. He was stuck in that little pocket, decided to run back to the top of the goal square. Just open up a little hole.
Luke Bruce in game number 300. Look at that incredible career. Can he stick this through for the Hawks? It is good. What a player. Moves him to 50th in the all-time goal kickers list. But more importantly, it brings the Hawks back to within 5 points.
And here's the free kick on Moore. Umpire saw it off field. And then he just found into Luke Bruce, and then from there, Bruce, as soon as he came off the boots, he knew he was going through straight to the crowd, and then that's the crew that have travelled up the scene, plays surrounded the game. You're right, there is Ben Stratton. Does look a little bit worse for wear, as you said, JB, but the boys are celebrating. Watching him put that one through.
Four-timer Aussie Smith there. Amazing stuff for Luke Bruce. He's kicked a goal in every one of his milestone games from 50 to 300. Horn Francis with 17 seconds in the quarter remaining. Port lead it by 5 points. There's an opportunity here. Radicalier underneath. Sicily does well. So he'll hold the ball until three-quarter time. It's been another quarter that Hawthorn have won on the scoreboard. 3 goals to 2 in it. And what a tight second semi we've got. Port Adelaide at three-quarter time here by just 5 points.
All right, folks, three-quarter time. My God, I tell you what, this game is just super exciting. Super exciting. It's Port Adelaide by 5 points, 7-8-50, leading the Hawks 7-3-45. Oh, Bianca's so nervous out there, biting her fingernails. You know what? Every football lover will be just listening, watching this game. They'll be feeling the same. It's nerve-wracking. You just don't know what way this is going to go. 5 points. Is one of these teams going to break this game open, or is it going to be coming down to a kick after the siren? Holy Toledo Batman. Who knows? United, how you going? This game is a ripper. It sure is, Albert. It sure is. Bruce from Bianca. Tell you what, you just knew he was going to slot us through. One of the best kicks in Hawthorn is Luke Bruce. Don't worry about that. I tell you what, stay hunky. Thanks for coming in. That quarter, Port Adelaide, I tell you what, 2 goals, 2. But the Hawks won that quarter, 3 goals straight. Oh, who do you reckon will win tomorrow? I reckon Sydney will win tomorrow. I think they'll pull out all the punches. You know, it's really difficult if you know you can be an up and coming side like the Hawks and GWS, but seasoned side like Sydney, they know the pressure. I think they'll get the job done. But this game tonight, you know what? I still think Port Adelaide may just hang on, but I'm still waiting for the Hawks just to unleash. I don't know who's going to win this game, to be truthful. I just don't know. Don't forget, vote. If you haven't voted, who's going to win this game? We've had 110 votes in so far. 54% say Hawthorn, 46% say Port Adelaide. Let's quickly, before they come back, the commentators, because I want to take you back to the commentators, because they're more interesting than me. They'll give you a better wrap-up in their thoughts. John Newcomb leading the way on 24 disposals. 3 marks, 4 tackles. Jack Grimshaw is next best with 19, with Jace Burgoyne for Port Adelaide on 19. There we go. Jason Horn-Francis is having a great game. Connor Rose, 15. You know what? Last week, United, I actually thought Hawthorn would win the grand final, even though they still had to play tonight, next week, and then the grand final. That's what I thought last week. I didn't think anyone could stop them, but the pressure that Port Adelaide are bringing tonight is off the charts. It's got to be up around 250 each quarter. That's how crazy the pressure is. Hey, don't worry about that, folks. Hawthorn are doing great. Hawthorn are playing good. Is just that Port Adelaide aren't letting them get that free-flowing game so far. There is your stats for this so far, folks. Three-quarter time here. Welcome in. Paul in Asia. I tell you what, there is the stats. There is a stat. Let's just have a quick look at the goal kickers. Nick Watson, Mr. Duck, the Wizard, Mr. Duck. He's kicked 2 for the Hawks. Willie Rioli and Darcy Byrne-Jones 2 for Port Adelaide. Connor Rose, Todd Marshall, Miss Georgiadis, the single goal scorers there for Port Adelaide. And of course, single for the Hawks, Dylan Moore, Jack Ginnivan. Jack Ginnivan actually really, Cash Ledier and Chol. And of course, Luke Bruce, that fantastic goal from about 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Jack Ginnivan needs to live for the Hawks. I tell you what, Folks, this is going to be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding last quarter. Get it, grab your popcorn. I tell you what, we are moments away. We are just moments away from one of the great final quarters of the finals so far for 2024. Be hard for Sydney to win. They're not playing. Oh, it is too. It is too. It's the GWS Giants and the Lions tomorrow. There we go. I think the Lions will win that one. That's enough of that game. Let's get down to the ground for the commentators. Is Port Adelaide by 5 points? I don't know who's going to win, but it's going to be one ripper last quarter.
Beat a direct opponent or even two, because there's pressure coming from everywhere. I think even though it was a high transition game, in the middle of that quarter it just seemed to go up and back, like ping pong footy, but the pressure was still in the 190. So look, this is a brilliant exhibition by both teams. The way they've been able to present, try and execute and execute their game plan and take away the opposition's. It's a real arm wrestle. It sets up for a brilliant last quarter.
It's all about moments in this last term. As we can see, there's only 5 points in it. I think early part of that quarter, it was really open, a lot of long kicks, and I think players found it really hard to get from contest to contest. I think if you're both sides right now, numbers to the contest, make good decisions, make sure you're clean, and the stoppages become really important. So as we can see there, nearly 50 stoppages in the first half, only the 20, and majority of those came in the second part of that quarter. But it's all about moments this third quarter to take your team into a prelim final.
I do all credit to, and we see Horne-Francis there. He's had his leg worked on, looking at his right quad, which is obviously his dominant kicking leg. He is proficient on his left, so if he can run all right, he'll get through. But you can carry a little nick in your quad. It's just you don't want it to get too bad.
No, absolutely. Not this time of the year, especially. He does look a bit proppy just when he's doing his runs. He's a key player, obviously. He's that power man, because you feel like the game's going to remain open here in this last quarter, because it's just been such a physical game and a taxing game. There's no question it'll open up. So it looks like he's going to go forward.
Full forward. Francis. The young Port Adelaide defenders have been excellent. Evans, Burgoyne's been excellent, and Sin, they've held up really well, given a bit of bounce.
Well, it all comes down to this. So one of these teams will meet the Sydney Swans in a preliminary final at the SCG next week. It's season over for the loser. Which way will it go? The Hawthorn fairy tale or redemption for Port?
Season over for the loser. Newcomb, Rosie, Warple tried to drag a high free.
Lloyd Jordan, back here.
Picked up, one more, quickly to Warple, and he's gone.
Let's see if Horne-Francis can get on a sharp lead here. That'll test the quad out.
What about Will and Drew? Extraordinary tackling match from him again.
It's at 8.
Georgiades! The ball sat beautifully for him.
Gee, it was a good kick from Drew. There's no space down there. Hawthorn had a lot of numbers back, but he just got that to a perfect spot. It's the only spot you could have put that, and he did it perfectly.
It's Georgiades. Kicked one from a similar spot. This is a tighter angle. Everything's enormous from here on in. And that's going to miss. Abby, down to you.
Yeah, Port Adelaide have made their sub. So Marshall out. He's at the back of the bench. And Will Lorenz comes in for this fourth term.
Gee, that is risky with the question mark still hovering over Horne-Francis, isn't it?
It is. But maybe Horne-Francis is just going to stay as that deepest forward, BT.
Let's see if we can get through it.
But they're going to respect him.
Ambrosio, beautiful little shooter. Finding more. We've got the overlap run, and Ambrosio on his favoured left side, straightening the ball up ever so slightly. Bergman, Watson, in line for his third, rips it away and jams it through.
There's that. Watson on the bolt through, and you knew as soon as he got goal side, he was going to be a quick man to try and catch him. But the composure that he had to put that through, and then as soon as he puts it through, the celebration goes straight to the crowd.
That running lane that he ran there and then swooped across the front, that was just forward climbing 101 from Watson there. Absolutely outstanding.
What a game. Flick to the back cleverly. Butters. Great pickup. Connor Rosie, handball to the big man. Sweet wants to go again by hand. It's a good option too to Rioli. What about that kick?
John, Mark is here.
Did not have to break stride, Georgiades.
Thank you. Just let me know, please, John. Here. Keep coming.
You are literally, Richo, licking your chops. And number 15 jams it inside 50.
You know if there's space there and you're on a good lead, you just know that he'll find you. That's a hard kick from the position his body was in to get it to Georgiades. That's what Willie does.
He's got to go through. Got to find a way, Mitch Georgiades, for this to go through, and it is. Well done. Second of the night. Try and pick a winner from here.
I think if Hardwick had his time again, he wouldn't be squeezing up. You'd let Sweet kick that nice and long. You're not going to give it to Rioli. So far, he's kicked 2 goals himself. He's had 3 goal assists. He's proven tonight he's too good when he's inside forward 50. Let the ruckman kick it in, but that's great for Port Adelaide. Georgiades, important goal.
Speaking with Sean Burgoyne before the game, that's exactly what he said he'd do, and he's done precisely that. He's been amazing. Now we have got a 1-goal lead here for Port Adelaide. It is sudden death for the loser. Burgoyne wide. Port Adelaide on the attack. And I'll get a boundary throw in.
So if Horn Francis does anything at the moment, he's just keeping Weddle deep, keeping him back near the goal umpire. He's a good rebounder, Weddle. Port are happy if he's back there.
Newcomb just got a hand in Wines.
Here's a Telstra tracker on the Wizard. Of course, it's all going to be red in the forward half of the ground, and that is a good night for a small forward. And he's made something out of nothing a couple of times.
What about his final series, Richard? 4 last week. Drew over the top. Evans. Rioli, the kick wasn't quite there. Burgoyne. 2 in a row, Port Adelaide. Jace Burgoyne has had an unbelievable night. It's in the blood of this family that when the moments get big, they find a way to get the job done.
So Burgoyne's got Ginnivan here. Ginnivan presses in. Burgoyne comes into the middle there, and he's on his own. So Ginnivan made the decision to try and get that extra number down. They didn't have any impact. And a good finish from Burgoyne, who's had an outstanding night.
2 goals in 2 minutes here for Port Adelaide. I think that's danger for Port when they get on this sort of roll and get going. I know they're scoring on the board, but it's going to release Hawthorn. Sooner or later, they're going to say, damn it, let's just go. Shackles off. Rosie. Beautiful ball. Burn-Jones controls a difficult ball. Gets some metres behind it as well. Mark, I think, will be paid here to Evans. even though it was probably juggled over the line. Evans goes inside 50. Getting back was Hardwick. Rioli turns it into a stoppage rather than a mark.
And this is what's happened. Hawthorn do look a little bit unstable across their half-back line. Their skipper, Sicily, has gone to centre half forward to try and kick a winning score, but you can sort of see without his leadership across the back, they've failed the last 2 inside 50s.
Right handball. Horn Francis. 3 in a row, Port Adelaide. The big man. Jordan Sweet with a goal assist and a great finish.
This is where he's dangerous. Have a look at Horn Francis. He got on the move through the stoppage. Weddle didn't go with him. And he found himself in a little bit of space and he finished. So I think the quad's all right.
3 goals in 4 minutes here for Port.
He got that space from Ollie Wines. Ollie went and put the block on for him. Great team goal for Port Adelaide.
Not quite the biggest margin of the game, but almost. But still a very gettable 3-goal game here. Nash. Oh, Chase Burgoyne. 22nd touch. Most of any Port Adelaide player. He's playing the best game of his career so far, this man. He's done it all. Kick out wide. Radicalier. Little knockdown here. Trying to keep it alive. Lorenz, the sub that's been activated.
What have the Hawks got here? We know how hard they can hit the scoreboard. They've done it now for so long.
The Port aren't giving them the opportunity, JB, the whole night. Whenever they've had space, Port Adelaide have been able to squeeze in, close them down. Their pressure has been elite.
Burgoyne again. Ward. Lorenz. Watson out.
You look at this quarter, Port Adelaide have had 14 uncontested possessions to Hawthorn's 3. Every time they've got the ball, it's just been closed down from Port.
Lots of time left. Meek did well. Butters. Wines a little one. Morrison got it cleverly to Impey. Just enough pressure from behind from Rioli. Wines thought he could find Lorenz. He went to ground. Now the Hawks are away. Bruce flicks it over the top. Ginnivan in the spot he loves.
Question, if he goes around the corner, is it too far out?
I think he's got it. I think he's happy with it.
Does this so well. Got one already. His team need this. Oh, it didn't hit the wrong side of the ball. Now they've got to defend.
I don't think he's got it, Hodgie.
That's the issue he has. When you're snapping that far out, sometimes you do belly because you're trying to get that extra little bit of distance.
Right in front of the Hawk goals. Sicily got it. Sicily gets it. Just what the doctor ordered. Back to a 2-goal game.
What a player. As good a defender as there is in the comp, and then when you need him, you just slide him forward. He always finds a way to impact.
He's a goal kicker. That's why Sam Mitchell put him down there. But Bergman needs to pay more respect to the Hawthorn skipper. Got spiked out. You're just too far away from him. You've got to be touch and feel when you're 30 metres out from the opposition's goal. There's a reaction from James Sicily. They know how important that goal is.
The star of our game. Oh, there might be a touch in this, is there?
Review it, JB.
Long way away there.
Possible to see. Can't possibly overrule that. Remember, what the vision we see is what they're seeing in the arc.
It's that second set of hands to...
And they're zooming in. That's impossible to tell from there.
It's mighty close, but how would you overturn it?
It looks close.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. It's a closer shot.
It's going back.
Oh, jeez, this is a big call.
Definitely went back on it. Oh, there might be the separation between the fingers, which that's making look like went back. You know how they split?
Yeah, I'll leave it up to the arc.
This is a huge call.
Is it the separation or is it the finger?
It's got to be categorical. Well, Boat's actually standing on the wing. He's not walking down.
This is score review. The score is confirmed. You can restart play.
Righto, there we go. Goal stands.
I think that's the right call. It's got to be categorical, doesn't it, to overrule the original decision.
Back to a 2-goal game. Meek was really good. Newcomb. So strong and able to release it. And then go and find it again. Horn Francis.
This is where Hawthorn don't have to panic. There's still 13 minutes on the clock. We know how fast they can score. You don't want to just cough the ball up and give up easy shots to Port Adelaide.
Sub Lorenz. There is Lorenz, and he handled that pretty nicely. Well on Morrison. Now they want to go fast. Amon. Just had his left leg closed down. Aaliyah. So athletically came at that ball. Back to Logan Evans. Floats it. Narkle at the back. Pounds it inside 50. Hardwick. Well done. Brilliantly done. McGuinness. Zerk Thatcher had the better of a one-on-one with Child.
Terrific defending Zerk Thatcher. He released off Child at the perfect moment. So lots of time here. It's a 12-point game with 12 minutes. Plenty of time for this game to go either way.
Advantage.
McGuinness is told he's got to keep going. And he does. So the Hawks get it along the boundary through Morrison. The knockdown by Dia. Been a quietish night for him tonight. Jones there. Gonna go at McGuinness. Morrison comes in. McGuinness again. Fumble, got the little ball out. The kick by McDonald rebounded back into his hands. Boku's been good all night with the precious skills of the game. Kelsey Adair got it on here to Warple. Warple goes inside 50. Sicily. He beats Bergman. The little dribbler. Does it bounce the right way? No. Oh, so well worked out by the class of Sicily.
Issues for Lockie Jones. Inside 2 goals now, this lead. Galea. Burn Jones. Hardwick. Got it off to Morrison. McGuinness gets it back to Morrison. Chase Burgoyne has been supreme. Logan Evans fights off the kick through the middle. We'll get it back to Evans. Oh, didn't get it. Didn't hit it properly at all, and it's going to be a Hawks mark.
D'Ambrosio on the left. Goes immediately. Good ball here to Ward.
Zerk Thatcher released too early then.
Charles sold some foot candy and a little squeeze at Ginnivan.
You're right, Richard. Zerk Thatcher, you don't squeeze up as a defender unless you know you can impact the ball.
Ginnivan plays on around the corner and he's kicked the goal. Back within 5 points here, the Hawks. Ginnivan's got a couple.
This is the rule as a defender. You only squeeze up and put on frontal pressure if you can stop or impact the ball. He was up in an overlap, which left Child free and gave to Ginnivan, who was smart enough to go around and put it through. Sammy Mitchell's made the call to go from the coach's box down onto the bench.
Pumping up the crowd too down there, Sam.
Outstanding response this from the Hawks. Butters, couple to contend with in the end, 3.
The last few times Port have gone forward, Morris and Hardwick have stood up beautifully.
Wines misses with the attempted handball. Horn Francis came forward there. Gets it back, Horn Francis. And now he's bitten off more than he can chew. 50. And 50.
Jordan's trying to play the case. In fact, he couldn't hear. It's a very loud crowd here.
This is big now. Inside 10 minutes.
Sicily deep. You wouldn't want to be one-on-one on Sicily.
Nash.
Alir is ready for it.
Drills a low one. Straight to Alir, but it was a tough one to mark. Boller.
Well done, Alir. In fact, Sicily won out on anyone.
He knew exactly where he was going, though.
Who can get on the fly here? Sim's got Watson. Comes out in that direction. Bundur, dangerous area to soccer. McInnes to Morrison. Morris from the boundary. Got good purchase on the ball. Zerk Thatcher did well. Logan Evans. Wonderful spinning pirouette out of trouble. High ball here now. One-on-ones everywhere. Ball taken away. Rioli spits the tackle on Carl Amon.
How good's Rioli's pressure when he's been in and around the contest? Been so physical. Great effort there to wrap up. Hang on.
Sweet in the Wines direction. He gets a foot to it. There's Rioli again. Evans missed with the attempted kick around the corner. And gets a high free.
You've got Horn Francis on Hardwick. You've got Georgiades and Scrimshaw.
Has to go to Rioli, Richo.
It's the right man to be putting it inside.
Never a bad decision. He goes to Connor Rosie.
There's a little hole in the pocket.
Ruckman's got down there too to compete.
He goes to the pocket. Georgiades! Stands up.
So you've got to have a deep breath here, don't you? This is massive. Yeah, well done. You can rush these, but he hasn't.
Mitch Georgiades has kicked his third. That's big. Three on the night. And now the Hawks need to kick 2 to hit the front. Lots of time left.
You think, how can you take an uncontested mark with a deep kick inside 50? It's Burn Jones. Just puts that little bit of interference into Scrimshaw just to stop him from that run and jump. And Georgiades was good enough to take the mark and then go back and finish it off.
Scrimshaw was pleading his case there. He did take his eyes off at Burn Jones.
It's all or nothing now for the Hawks. They've got to really start to provide even more risks than they normally play with, because Port Adelaide get another one and she is all over. Port kick the next. I reckon it is over. Back inside Nash with a handball to McDonald. Gets rid of the tackler. Aim on to Chol. Chol's a long left footer. Takes a bounce. Sweet tries to run him down. Has he run too far? He has. Sometimes you've just got to kick it. Sometimes you've just got to unload it. Sometimes you've just got to do the basic thing.
Take your hat off to the ruckman, though. That was a fantastic chase.
Especially when he had Watson by himself in the pocket. Just do the simple things. Put it over the top to Watson. We've seen how good he is in front of goal, especially on a little angle with the snap.
Now has to take the kick. Big Jordan, and he has blown up with that chase. Radigalia. Morrison at the back.
JB, they've just taken Rioli off the ground. Now, there's 7 minutes to go in this game. I reckon that is a bad time to bring off a star player like that. You may not get him back on the ground. There's a risk you won't.
Kicks it out the full
if the ball stays over that side.
He's by far their most dangerous forward. He's set up threes, kicked a couple.
And I think he was wondering why he was being taken off. This is someone on a computer going mad.
You can find something at this point in a semi-final, a cutthroat.
Aim on. Aaliyah, too strong for Chol. It's now just bash it long down the line each time and try and get someone to hang on to a mark. Lorenz.
The grandson of Graham Arthur, of course, the first premiership captain for the Hawks back in 1961, JB. Lorenz got the call yesterday, I believe. Get his parents over here, just in case he did play and Charlie Dixon was laid out. It's exactly what happened. Boat to Burn Jones. And there was Amon. Got to work for the Hawks now. They're down by 11. They need 2 goals with 6 minutes.
Rioli, 97%, Hodgie.
He's down there getting a rub now, so I reckon he might have been pretty fatigued. He's put in a amount of work.
Rosie. Little handball. Asava Radigalia runs through them. Took them on, lucky not to be penalised.
Feels like the ball's just going to stay out there now, doesn't it? Out on that outer wing.
Hawks cannot afford to be scored against. Certainly not a major. Georgiades to Butters. Boak almost came off his shoulder. Lorenz went to ground. Wines won a critical one-on-one. Amon. Hardwick. McGuinness. Meek. Good hands.
They are good hands and they needed to be. What can they conjure up? These are the sort of risky kicks they need to take.
Got to stop the handball receive here, Port.
MP, half back.
There is space in the middle.
Have they got the run left in them here, the Hawks? Ginnivan all the way to half back here.
Rioli's ready to come on.
5.5 minutes to go in the game now. Sweet in front, Sicily. Keeps it alive. He couldn't handle it too far because he knew no one was there. Oh, well done, Sicily and McDonald in combination. Sicily the handball to Nash. He needs to release. He does. To McGuinness. McGuinness and Bergman. Bergman chases it down. 5 minutes to go.
Well done, Bergman. His desperation action was not giving up on that one. Had 2 or 3 efforts on that wing.
Rioli is back on the ground. You can see bottom of the screen there. But it's in the Hawks. Forward 50.
Look at Watson on the run through.
Warple, there is Watson.
Gee, I wouldn't be letting him run through like that again, Hodgie.
Nash can put a block on. Whether it's a Moore, whether it's a Watson, just want him on the fly.
There is Moore. Now McGuinness. Rabiot Chol. Lorenz. Did he disguise that well enough? Yes.
Where's he not with that too? And Sicily is not happy about it.
Had to be, didn't it?
What's he doing?
He knocked it over his head. Had to be. Dangerous.
Well, what's his intent there? No, he didn't make great contact. Boundary throw-in taking place here. And that's our bounds again this time. Jones was close by. You've got to hand it to Ken Hinkley, Richo. 84 points this Port Adelaide team were beaten by last week. And he's managed to get them super-duper motivated for this game tonight.
Says a lot about his players playing for him. The other time they got pumped by Brisbane, they responded, don't forget.
There is an opportunity for Sweet now. Picked up Newcomb. This is good. Marks taken deep in the pocket by Moore. 4 minutes 17. This will get them within a goal if he can kick it. Moore plays on around the corner. I reckon no.
Should have had some chance. Ginnivan had a chance. Moore had a chance. They're really good at those shots most of the time. Finals pressure.
Sin. Long in the Radicalier direction. Hand in. Couldn't take it. Weddle slapped it forward. Warple with strength. That is not deliberate. He's in the grips of a tackle, so they'll be thrown in.
Gee, these are big stoppages.
Meek cleverly down. Bruce goal side. Out wide to McGuinness. And he has kicked a goal. What a game of football. Finn McGuinness. Just his 6th goal of the season. And it is just 4 points.
Now this is just wave of the momentum. Look at all the Hawks players. They just had the numbers, the momentum coming through that stoppage. They always had the release. As soon as a player could possess the ball, it was McGuinness who was there. And he nailed it.
8 goals kicked in the last quarter. 4 apiece. And it's back to 4 points. 3.5 minutes to go. Sudden death. Winner to take on Sydney next Friday in Sydney. Meek out of the middle wins it. Warple onto the left boot. Hawthorn try to surge it forward. Horn-Francis got a lucky ball there back in the middle. Burgoyne wins it again. They go inside 50. Radicalier and Weddle. Weddle has a wing. He slipped. Releases the handball. Hawthorn in control, or are they?
True got a hand in. Impey gone. Awesome tackling from Bone Jones.
William drew as well. Desperation to bring that ball to ground.
Guys, unsure what's going on with Jason Horn-Francis, but he is not in a very good way behind the play. Unsure if it's cramp or a hamstring.
Boak, a long one, almost Radicalier. Stoppage deep, as there is Jason Horn-Francis. That is right, he does not look good at all.
That was the opposite side to which he had checked at 3/4 time, JB.
Rioli, kick to Rosie. It didn't carry far enough, so we're going to come back and have a stoppage. Oh, it's a Hawthorn free. No one in. The free kick was for.
Kick the ball away. Umpire called a ball in. Ball up.
Ball up.
They just
Okay.
kicked it through the points.
That looks like cramp for Holly Francis to me.
Let's hope so.
So the Hawks go into the middle of the ground. Nash takes the mark. He was about to play on. There's this Hawthorn overlap that they've become famous for this year. Ball out wide. Hawks in the box seat here. D'Ambrosio keeps it alive. No.
That kick from Weddle, trying to understand what he was doing, but probably should have taken more ground, kicked it to the half-forward flank.
Huge stoppage. Won by the Hawks, but the kick hands the footy back to Port Adelaide.
Hawthorn need to squeeze down there and pick up all three blokes. Can't just sit back.
Well, they're not going to be able to get a switch. It's just going to be down the line.
Clock has stopped, obviously. Minute 56 remain. And Evans. Long ball. And locking it in is pretty good for Port.
Smart one, Port. They've got
Radicale's dropping back loose.
Rockman hitting the head, Butters slaps it forward. Scrimshaw. Long one inside 50. Sicily!
They had the loose back, but Sicily is able to take a contested mark. Look at this, you've just sent Radicale back. And I reckon him and Ali got a little bit mixed up there.
Monstrous. Monstrous this is for the skipper. To give the Hawks the lead. And he thumps it into the post.
They're not even looking to try and get a contested mark here. They're just going to go long.
So Port Adelaide trying to keep it towards the boundary line out wide if they can. Big pack of players. Weddle was there. Scrimshaw at the back. Meat. Georgiades, he's got the trip here. 50 seconds. They're down by 3 points. Scrimshaw sends a forward-bound ball. Sicily was there. Radicale over the top. Plenty of Hawthorn players. Scrimshaw knocks it down. Taking it away. Port Adelaide. Scrimshaw has another go. Got it to the left foot of D'Ambrosio. Schultz at foot candy. Left foot inside 50. Osama Radicale takes it, perhaps a game-saving mark. He'll be called to play on here if he's not careful.
They've got to get this out of bounds, Port.
Long and wide. Massive amount of players in the air. D'Ambrosio again. Around the body ball. It's now a ground ball. And it's held up. It is held up. Port Adelaide are through to a prelim final. Up off the canvas. What a performance by Ken Hinkley and his boys. And what a game of football. Sicily with the game on his boot, and Richo for a long time that looked like it was through.
Yeah, absolutely. JB, these teams have played 3 finals. The last 3 times they've played, 3 points has been the margin. And they did have some chances. Moore had a chance, Ginnivan had a chance, and then Sicily hitting the post.
Great respect from the two coaches, and what a season Sam Mitchell's put together with this club.
But to be fair, Port Adelaide, they were the better team all night. Their intensity right from the first bounce to limit Hawthorn to 42 inside 50s. It was just a great contest all night. Down to you, Abby.
Connor Rosie, a very proud captain down here at ground level. Some tense moments like no doubt, but you must be absolutely wrapped with the performance and the result tonight.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to put into words, to be honest. We probably copped a fair bit during the week from external sources and some people who probably don't know too much about us and worry about. And to come out here, our group, I love our boys so much. I feel like we really proved to ourselves that we deserve to be here. And what a moment at the end there. Our supporters, I can barely hear myself thank, so unbelievable.
How hungry were you to respond? I know you just mentioned there was a lot of external noise, but after last week going down by 84 points, how hungry was the group to come out and get it done tonight?
I don't think I've ever seen our group so hungry, to be honest. We feel like coming into the finals, we've never been in a better position to attack it, and we didn't come to play last week. That was fair enough. In pretty much every part of our game, we were a bit off, and to come out here tonight and I guess prove those doubters wrong a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what everyone says this week.
What was going through your mind when James Sicily was having a set shot at goal?
I was spraying someone for not getting it to the ground, and big sigh of relief when it went through the points.
Ken Hinkley, how much does he mean to the group as well? We know that he cops a lot, but you can just see the emotion that he shows down at ground level, but he just has so much love for your boys.
Yeah, I love him like a father, to be honest. Again, he just cops a ridiculous amount of criticism that he probably doesn't deserve. From where he came in it a few years ago, 10 years ago now, I think, where the club was and to where we've come. I played finals 4 out of my 6 years, and what a man. It'd be interesting to see, like I said before, what everyone says this week, but we really wanted to get this one done, especially for him.
Thrilling bound to see you next week.
Can't wait. Thanks, Evan.
Interesting comments, Richard. There'll be a lot of people watching saying you lose the final by 80 points, you deserve whatever comes your way.
Look, I think the criticism was justified last week, but full credit, they responded for Ken Hinkley, and they've had a couple of bad losses this year, and they responded each time. Ken, the players played for him.
Well, look at this. This is ridiculous. 12 times a qualifying final team have lost by 50 points or more, and Hodgie, every time they've won the next week. It's uncanny how it happens. Great season, Hawthorn.
There's a bit going on here. James Sicily's not happy with a couple of Port Adelaide players.
Wonder what that's about. The coach is talking to him.
And Ken going back at him.
Gee, that's very, very interesting. You don't see that very often, a player and a coach going at it.
They're picking up and carrying off a champion of the game in Luke Bruce. Throw him to the best. What a player he's been, Hodgie.
Yeah, yes. Disappointing way to finish at 300, but as I said, he did what he normally does, come on and kick a goal. He's been such a great player for the Hawthorn Football Club over the journey. Great that he got another year.
So the story will be around who plays for Port Adelaide next week as Sicily leaves the ground. There was a bit going on, but Horn Francis, Marshall,
he couldn't move, Horn Francis, and he had that quad, but it was the opposite leg. He had the right quad at 3/4 time, but then it was looked like his left hammy was cramping. He has had those hamstring surgeries.
This is what maybe was going on. We're not really sure. got a bit to say, Kenny, and
as a coach, that's pretty disappointing. You'd think, I reckon Ken as a coach would sit back and go, we've just had a win, a great win. We should be talking about how well our team played. Instead, a coach is in there mouthing off to a losing side. Pretty poor form.
You certainly don't see it very, very often at all, if at all.
Remember Kevin Sheets once had an incident with an opposition player, but yeah, there's a lot going on there.
And it continues there. Look at that. That's extended dialogue.
That's a disappointing part, the fact that we're going to be talking about this. Like Port Adelaide, their performance tonight was exceptional. Their intent, their attitude, trying to make up from last week. There you, Abby.
Chase Burgoyne, how good is this? Just talk me through the emotion on that final siren.
Yeah, no, it was unreal. We got 50,000 plus in the house tonight, and that last minute was nerve-wracking, and we wanted to dig deep in that last couple of minutes just to, I guess, get the reel that we wanted, and the credit to the boys. We come in on the band and just got to walk out with the win. It's unreal.
You were massive tonight. I mean, 25 disposals, 9 marks, and a crucial goal. But how did you set yourself up personally to come out here and dominate the way that you did?
Yeah, well, last week I didn't play how I wanted to, and then we had Ryan Burton go down. And Kenny came to me and told me I was playing half back this week, and played them my first 2 years, so I was happy to go do it. And obviously the team needed me to go there, so I went and filled that role. And I'm sure anyone could have filled that role, but obviously it was placed upon me, and I was happy to do it.
How's the resilience of the group? And I guess the versatility that you all show. No Houston, no Farrell. You lose Burton during the week. Charlie Dixon's a late out tonight, of course, but I guess for the boys to rally and just continue to get it done, no matter what it looks like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, credit to the boys, and like I said before, anyone can fill those roles, and obviously I stepped in with Will Lorenz as late in as a sub and come on in the last quarter and did amazing, and Josh Sin came in and played his role, and all the boys that came and just stood up.
I stole you just quickly, but Ken Hinkley got the boys together in a huddle and had a very quick word. What do you think he would have said to you or not tonight?
I reckon he would just said he's proud. At half time he came in and he said all I can ask for is effort, and we banged that, and no doubt he's proud, no doubt.
Go and enjoy this. We'll be speaking to you in just a few moments, but I'll let you go and soak up this with the boys.
No worries, thank you, appreciate it.
We have just witnessed one of the great finals matches at Adelaide Oval. After losing by 84 points in last week's qualifying final, Port Adelaide have prevailed by just 3 points in front of 51,000 fans. And look at the love for Ken Hinkley in the change rooms. So welcome to Finals Footy on Fox, brought to you by Industry Super Funds. When it comes to super, there's only one symbol to look for: Jonathan Brown, Nathan Buckley, Jordan Lewis. I'm not sure where to begin. We've got a lot to unpack. We'll be here till midnight, but firstly, congratulations to Port Adelaide.
Absolutely, and let's start with Ken Hinkley having the last laugh over the Hawthorn boys. Obviously a bit of lip. You don't see that very often, Bucks. I'm not sure how often it happened with you in your coaching career, but very rare scenes.
It's not often that an opposition player said, I'll see you in 14 days. And I think that's what it was. I think Ken was going over the top to Jack Ginnivan and letting him know that I think if I was able to lip sync, he said, you're not flying. You won't be flying up to Sydney. So, and then Sicily was coming to defend that. So look,
he doesn't need to do it.
He didn't need to.
I think it ruins a good night.
They were extraordinary scenes, and it will be.
What's the point?
But isn't it
ruined your night?
No, but I don't. I mean,
isn't it the emotion of finals, though?
Yeah, but surely as a coach, you understand where the line is.
But that's Kenny, though. Kenny plays on emotion, does he? He's a hard-to-sleeve player.
Bucks, you can relate better than us. You've been in that position before.
Look, can you imagine the week that they've just had? To put that performance forward last week and to fight back and to be able to craft, firstly be able to get your players, to let that behind and then to go forward and to come in with a plan against an opposition who were able to get time and space against everyone the last 14 weeks, and they just could not get time and space against power. And I think that's the emotion of it. I understand what you're saying, Geordie, but it's a little bit of lip. It's a little bit of lip. He did. Well, he did. And he did in his interview. But
it's just interesting because Ken Hinkley, from all the camera shots we saw throughout the game, he looked very calm and composed for most of the match. It was Sam Mitchell getting quite frustrated. That was a little bit surprising to see Ken Hinkley do that on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about that, we can probably dissect it, but for me, it's... Yeah. enjoy the song. The kids are in there. It's a
100%.
great victory, and we can just dissect it after.
A 3-point win. Enjoy this, Port Adelaide fans.
We are the power from Port. It's more than a sport. It's a truth. Port Adelaide conditions doing. We never stop, 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 do it, stop, stop, stop. 6 to go in the mouth. Never get in. The flag is ours to say.
The Port Adelaide fans here at the ground have just watched it on the big screen as well. Congratulations to them. So it now means Port, they move through to a preliminary final against the Sydney Swans at the SCG next week. What do you think the Swans would have thought watching on tonight?
Well, they'd be a bit nervous because
they got their game back.
Absolutely smashed Sydney here a few weeks ago, didn't they? So they'd have some mental demons from that game, the Sydney Swans, and Port Adelaide would have their confidence back, no doubt about that. That's their DNA. That's the way they have to play. Not the stuff they served up last week. What they served up tonight was magnificent all throughout the game. And at the end of the day, they had more energy.
Oh, I think you're right. We sat here at quarter time, and it wasn't high scoring, but it was enthralling. And I think that is the job of a coach, to get your players, one, with clarity in the way that you play, but energy. And I thought Port Adelaide won that battle. It seemed like they should have won by more, but the way they denied Hawthorn the game that they wanted to play, I thought it was first class. And then to come into the second half, even the last quarter, to put Willem Drew on John Newcombe, I thought was a great move as well. So there was bits and pieces all over the game that the coaches from the Port Adelaide side made some really good decisions. Players play with great energy.
It's a tough move, Bucks, as a coach. You'll be reluctant to do that when he's done a good job on D'Ambrosio.
Yeah.
And obviously you would be reluctant to free him up because the game can open up late in the game as players get tired.
Well, it ended up being like a high stoppage game. Even in the third quarter when it dropped off a little bit, it was still a high stoppage game. So if there was going to be a difference in the game, it's probably going to come out of the middle of the field rather than the outside. D'Ambrosio gets on the end of open play, and Port Adelaide had prevented Hawthorn from having much open play. So I think that made sense, and it did take a bit of courage, given that he'd done the job really well. But Newcombe still had some impact, but it was quelled in some way by Drew's influence.
You're John Longmire right now, Bucks. What are you thinking from a coach's perspective, having just watched that?
Well, it's always good to see two sides go absolutely toe-to-toe.
So if you saw bodies rock up.
Doesn't hurt for Horn Francis to go off with a cramp, and obviously getting his quad looked at before. He's a key member of that side, and even at 80% fitness, was able to kick that goal late in the last quarter, but. Yeah, I just think they've got some young players that really stood up tonight. It was one out of the box compared to to have Houston not there, Farrell not there.
True.
And to be able to find a way to sculpt a winning side together tonight was amazing. It's going to be another story next week. But if I'm John Longmire looking at that, I'm thinking, okay, the Hawks have had momentum. They're out of the way. Now we know exactly who we're focusing on, and we're fresh and ready to go.
And you know what everyone's going to bring up over the next 7 days is that 112-point thrashing just last month between the Sydney Swans and Port Adelaide. What about the game in particular of Jace Burgoyne tonight? He is one of the stories, wasn't he?
It's terrific. And I love that Ken Hinkley mentioned him pre-game, said we're going to throw him back, and obviously that was the big issue, or the challenge for Port Adelaide was the injuries to was suspension to Houston. They lost Farrell with an injury, and they lost Burton before the game. So he trusts these young fellas.
Yeah.
He puts them out there. Young Sin started half-back. Burgoyne goes back there, and Logan Evans was fantastic as well. So three of the youngest players in the team stood up under the pressure of Hawthorn going inside 50 and then getting it out of there.
And Zerk Thatcher probably played one of his better games. Bergman had a few goals kicked on him. He struggled against Watson for periods, and then Sicily late. But Aaliyah, their defence probably stood up as much as they had at any stage throughout the year, and it helps when the midfield and the high forwards are putting pressure on. It definitely helps you defend.
Should we unpack this final quarter? Should we tackle it? Let's take a look at the forward 150 big game plays, beginning with Nick Watson. I mean, the pace on this kid, to level the scores.
Yeah, it was amazing. He had a great second half, didn't he? When they were relatively quiet on the night, the small forwards, apart from Watson, who lit him up, and then Ginnivan got a goal late. They kicked straight. Georgiades was fantastic, I thought.
Yeah, you're impressed by him tonight,
I think he's really grown as a player. Big shoes tonight. No Dixon. Marshall went off with the concussion. He stood up late when it counted. He's kicked 40 goals coming into the finals series. So I think he's really developed as a player. Horn Francis had to start at full forward because he had that cramp or that issue with his quad at three-quarter time. But that's where he's at his strongest in that forward 50 stoppage. He was able to kick that important goal.
Yeah, it was just ebbs and flows throughout that whole last quarter. We spoke about the high transition. Port Adelaide got out to that 3-goal lead, and then Hawthorn never say die. They played through to the end. It's not as if they didn't turn up, and this had its fair share of controversy there. That one there was no significant way of being able to turn that over. Sicily missed that one, and then obviously the set shot that he had later. But this one here, we saw this. Chol was on the run and able to find Ginnivan, who ended up finishing this one.
It's a good finish. Sicily had a few chances forward of the ball. I thought the other one, in terms of controlling the stoppages, was Jordan Sweet. I thought the ruck battle was really good all night. Here we see Georgiades, but especially in that fourth term, I thought it was an absolute battle and a really good duel. And then this is the one where Charlie had Watson on in the corner. He probably should have just given it over. I think he ran 11 or 12 steps, so it's probably right on the edge. But we spoke at three-quarter time about the moments that it was going to take in this fourth term. Another one from Dylan Moore. Two posts, wasn't there? Yeah, two posts. Here's a James Sicily's one. The other person actually, McGuinness. When you watching this fourth term, a lot of the players were out on their legs, but I thought McGuinness was one of those ones that was breaking the lines, helping back in defence, running really hard forward.
Just tackled by Burn Jones. I mean, the chase down stuff. In the end, Hawthorn were coming, and Port Adelaide were holding on that last 4 or 5 minutes.
You see there, Horn Francis cramping.
And that's what made it a remarkable effort, because Port Adelaide had to win that game in the last couple of minutes with a couple of those efforts. Despite this from Sicily, who, once again, does this show the inside of the post? Outside there, so
hit it well too.
And he had the distance easily there, but Port Adelaide had a grit there. So in there, smothered by Burn Jones right at the end. The pressure on the Hawthorn players was huge. Port Adelaide had to do it from go to wire, and that was the only way they were going to get over Hawthorn's side that have rampaged over pretty much every other team in the comp since the middle of the year.
Oh, look at those celebrations, the love amongst these Port Adelaide players. So loud. They're still hanging around on the hill and celebrating. Let's head into the change rooms, though, because Zach Butters has been good enough to join us. Zach, take us into where you are right now. What's the vibe in the mood, in the rooms, and congratulations on reaching the prelims.
Yeah, it's pretty emotional down here, and a week's a long time in footy, and just a credit to our family, our friends, and all our supporters for sticking by us, and it was good to get the reward for them this week.
What do you mean, the emotions? Elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's a pretty close game in the end there. They had a few shots, and it could have went either way, and just really proud of our boys' efforts to stick in there, and just watching them highlights and just repeat efforts, smothers, little tackles. I thought plenty of guys stepped up tonight.
Well done, Zach. You should be proud of your own effort as well. I thought you were magnificent tonight, the way you put your body on the line. It's been no doubt it's a challenging week for you, mate. Run us through it and your approach to the game.
Yeah, no doubt it's a challenging week, but they're all pretty tough weeks in footy, and as a footy club I just wanted to show up and keep trying to get better and help my teammates out and do the best I could, and I feel like between me, Connor and Willem Drew, and I just wanted to be a leader of the footy club and really step up, and I wanted to make sure I was out there this week with my teammates.
Zach, you had 8 tackles. Connor, Ollie Wines, and William Drew each had 8 tackles throughout the game. So it was obviously a focus to come in and put real heat on the Hawthorn players and take away their time and space. You obviously scored that up during the week, but are able to execute for the full 4 quarters.
Yeah, most definitely. They're an exciting footy team, and they've been pretty hard to stop offensively this year. So, we thought if we could do it at the cold face and really put some pressure on and start it then. And, as a midfield group, we let our team down last week, and, we're a proud group, so we took that personally.
And what about the young players that you played off halfback? Jace Burgoyne goes back there, Logan Evans, who's played in his 12th game, and Josh Sin, who was pulled into the side. I mean, no Houston, no Farrell. no Burton, but you're still able to get young blokes to come and play that role, to defend really well and then give you some rebound.
Yeah, I think a credit to them young boys for really stepping up in a huge game at home with some experienced players out, missing Dan and Ryan and Kane. So I feel like a few of them changed positions as well, and I was just super proud of the young boys stepping up. They've been doing it all year, and I thought they took another step forward with that tonight.
Hawthorn have been known for their run and carry game, especially out of half back. It must have been a week where you really went to work on that. It didn't seem like that was a huge part of their game tonight.
Yeah, something we really went to work on. They've got a lot of speed and a lot of class and a lot of talent in their team, and if you let that go to work, it's probably going to hurt you, like you've probably seen for the majority of the year. So, yeah, we watched a lot of vision, went to magnificent detail, and I thought the boys really went out there and responded.
The ruck battle was huge tonight between the two big men in the middle of the ground. How did you see it? I thought Sweet was fantastic, personally.
Yeah, Big Sweet, he's a big man, and I thought he really lived up to that tonight and played his role to a T, and that's what you want your big man to do, really step up and be the enforcer in there, and Meeks had a great year himself, so for Sweetie to step up, and I think ever since he's come into the team midway through the year that he's become a really important player for us, and we love playing with the big men.
Zach, there's plenty of talk during the week coming from Hawthorn as well, a bit of social media chat. Can he lean into that at all? Because he was certainly fired up post-game, a bit of feedback for some of the Hawks boys.
Yeah, I think they talk all year, and I think that's a part of their team, and it's where they definitely get some energy from as a group. So, yeah, we looked at it a little bit, but yeah, it's footy and you got to have fun, but at the same time, we're out there to get the job done tonight, and I was really proud. And Kenny's a passionate man, and that's why we love playing under him.
And looking forward, Zach, your last game against Sydney was pretty positive. You were able to unpack them and put them to the sword. You rate your chances going up there next week?
It's going to be a tough job, but yeah, even watching them last week, they're a magnificent team, and the way they go about it, and they've got some special players in there. So we're going to have our hands full, but we're going to go there with some confidence and give it our best shot and hope to get away with a win up there.
Zach, can you just elaborate on how exactly your ribs are and how you think the next 7 days are going to pan out for yourself to be able to play at your best against the Swans?
Yeah, they're good as gold, Kath, ready to go.
That's what we like to hear. I was just checking, Zach.
Very straight back.
Very straight back, indeed.
They look good as gold. Well done, mate.
Thanks, Bucks. Appreciate it.
Hey, we probably held you up for long enough. Go and celebrate with the boys. Thanks for your time tonight, Zach.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone.
Good as gold.
Yeah,
hey, well, they looked good as gold tonight. He was superb.
Well, that's why you like when you love him as an opposition. Well, not an opposition supporter. I don't know if you're a Hawthorn supporter, but I think all opposition supporters got great respect for Zach Butters, and he enhanced his reputation tonight. Not the biggest numbers, but for him to go out and do that under tremendous pressure publicly after what happened last week, and to go out and deliver for his team in a physical manner, I think says wonders about his character.
It wasn't big numbers for anyone. I mean,
no.
You spoke about the tackles, so you know it's not the stuff that the supporters or the fans from opposition would probably look at, but he had 18. I think Rosie had 20. Horn Francis probably had the same. Burgoyne there's probably only 2 or 3 players above 20 possessions, but that is irrelevant when they attack the game like they did tonight. And off the back of what you were saying about their tackle pressure, it was evident here live that Hawthorn could not find any space in and around the contest.
Yeah, it was all about the hunt and the relentless pressure, wasn't it? And it was really highlighted by one play in particular in the final quarter, and that was Jordan Sweet. His chase. You loved this, Brownie. You highlighted it as it happened.
Well, it just says this shows the mentality of the team and the full buy-in to the defensive pressure side of the game from go to woe all the way through. This is in the last quarter. He played a magnificent game, Sweet. Could be forgiven for not being able to make that chase because of the fatigue. But it was the effort, and I think that was symbolic of Port Adelaide tonight, and that's why they got the victory.
There were a few nervous moments with about 7 minutes left, and Willie Rioli was off the ground, and everyone was hoping that he'd find it. Well, Port Adelaide fans were hoping he'd get his way back onto the ground because he was immense tonight too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's the glue down there in their forward line. He's their forward leader, and we know he can take a mark, Bucks, but he's so good on the ground, and he creates so much pressure.
Well, you've got to, I suppose, rate his game against his opposition, and Blake Hardwick's one of the hardest blokes to get a kick on. He's very good in the air, he's very good on the ground, and you know, Willie Rioli, 15 disposals is a high possession game for him because he generally has high impact no matter how many touches he has, but you know, he was able to create opportunities, scoring himself, scoring for his teammates. and he halves a lot of contests that he has no right to halve to keep the ball in the forward 50. So I thought, I mean, he was huge, and he's just such a cagey player. Like, whenever he is near the ball, you cannot rest because something happens.
4 score assists, so 2 goals himself, 4 direct assists to goals, 8 score involvements. He led all comers in that area. I think you're right, Brownie. I think he's so clever, even when he realises where the space is and who's got the ball, how far they can kick it, all those little things you take in from being an experienced player. He's got the lot. So
there's some cagey small forwards in the competition. I think he's number one. I reckon whenever he's in the contest, he either wins it, he'll have it, and he's got a way of drawing free kicks as well. So he's that difficult to win and to rebound off. But if he hasn't won it, he'll halve it. He'll create a stoppage, and he's very damaging. I mean, he hurt us in 2018 when he was playing for West Coast. He doesn't need many touches to have a massive influence, and I thought he was huge this
Clearly
evening.
still remember that.
Yes, yeah. It's well, when you see go about his business. I mean, his injury when he wasn't playing early in the season, it really did hurt Port Adelaide's ability to get scores on the board and to really challenge opposition defences, but he's up and about.
You're right about challenge opposition defence, because no doubt it's in the back of their mind when a player like Willie Rioli, with his ground level pressure, it's in the back of the defenders' minds when they just maybe think they've got to get rid of the ball quicker than what they maybe need to. And he was magnificent all night, and we saw Hawthorn, they couldn't really get that flow.
All right, folks, that's all we've got for you tonight on this game. It was a fantastic game. Of course, commiserations to the Hawks. Well done to Port Adelaide. It was Port by 3 points. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. It's just my battery's going to go flat in just a moment, so I've got to end. 166 votes on this poll tonight. 52% went for the Hawks. 48% went for Port Adelaide. It was a close game right down to the wire. B for games, how you going? It was definitely a close game. Certainly was, Squire. But that's all I've got for this one. I've got to end this one now before the phone turns off, because I've only got 3% left on the bat. All right, guys, thanks all for coming in. We will see everyone tomorrow. We've got a bit of AFLW women's football tomorrow afternoon. Then tomorrow evening, don't forget, the GWS Giants taking on Brisbane Lions in the second semi-final. Should be another cracking game. Looking forward to that one. All right, folks, take it easy. Enjoy your evening. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. And, of course, ciao for now. We'll see you in the next live, in the next Footy Live.